Round two of one of the most significant amateur events in the game is underway from Melbourne, Australia. It is the 14th playing of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship, and the winner this week will begin a life-changing journey that will take them to the Masters and the Open in 2024. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo now to the highlights, and we'll begin at the fifth hole, Frank. And here is CT Lin, one of the favorites coming in.
Certainly is, Rich, but we've got different conditions today. Sun's out, greens are a little firmer. Going to have to judge the bounce. Plus, these greens are quicker. What a great shot.
Excellent start for CT Lin. Now at the eighth hole.
Dogleg right, par four. This is tricky, it's quick.
Go ahead.
One more roll, it's in for Lin.
CT Lin with 4 under 67. Big Bo Jin, he was right in the thick of it until he rinsed one late in Thailand a year ago. Bo Jin plays college golf in the United States from China. His brother, a past winner of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Now Masayuki Yamashita from Japan.
And he rolls one in.
He's 1 under for his round, playing the front side. It's a guy from your home country, Zach Swanwick.
Just 17 years of age, Rich, and this is for Eagle. And already he has won over here, the Australian Boys Champion, won that in Tasmania.
Making his Asia Pacific Amateur Championship debut. Right now it is Kazuma Kabori, also of New Zealand, after opening in 5 under 66. One-shot lead at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. The Asia Pacific Golf Confederation, in partnership with the Masters Tournament and the RNA, proudly present the 2023 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. And a glorious afternoon in Melbourne at one of the world's crown jewels, Royal Melbourne Golf Club in the fertile Sandbelt region down under, part of the Mackenzie portfolio that includes Augusta National and Cypress Point. Hosting the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship for the second time. Previously in 2014, won by an Australian, Antonio Murdaco. Well, yesterday was cold and blustery. Today, much more pleasant, 10 degrees warmer, 10 miles per hour calmer. Frank Nobilo made his mark here at Royal Melbourne, part of that winning side for the international team, captained by the great Peter Thompson, 1998. 15 times a winner around the world. Colt Knost, former U.S. amateur champion, is out on the golf course along with Australia's own Paul Gow, who played the PGA Tour. And Amanda Renner has interviews and some fun feature stories throughout the day. Here is the championship leader. Kabori is at the 9th hole.
And that from a sand-filled divot, 114 yards.
Pretty sporty.
See, the green's just a fraction firmer today.
Jimmy Zhang here at the 10th. He's 1 under par.
Get in. Get in, get in.
He's a senior at Duke University, showing his bunker prowess. 10th hole, par 5, easiest hole on the golf course so far today. Now back to 9. Kabori, back-to-back bogeys. At 7 and 8 have dropped him to 4 under. But Segura, surprising poor opening round, really has put him a long way back from the leaders.
He was the highest ranked player in the field coming in, World Amateur Golf Rankings. It just struggled yesterday, and you can get sideways here at Royal Melbourne. You put up high scores. Kabori 24th in those rankings. You see at number 16 there is the Japanese standout. Typically they're a strong contingent. You think about some of their great players, Keita Nakajima, Takumi Kanaya, past winners, and obviously Hideki Matsuyama. Lucas Michel won the 2019 USGA Mid-Amateur Championship. Australian star. And Sam Jones from New Zealand. And there is Yamashita inside the top 100 in those amateur golf rankings. Get back to the 9th hole. Frank, let's go down to Colt Knost, and what's he facing here? Long.
Yeah, Bo Jin's getting a little early look at the 10th, even though he's still got the 9th to play. Caught a ridiculously massive flyer from the left-hand rough. He hit it all the way over the 10th tee box. He's got a good 40 yards coming back, but good news is he's got plenty of green to work with, and this green actually runs from front to back.
But a little worse by that ball running right up against the collar.
He does have some fairway grass before the putting surface that he can land it in. And you mentioned it, Frank, it's getting much firmer out here.
Well, these are big greens too. You start missing it, you do not want to be having to rely on your short game at Royal Melbourne.
Familiar with this golf course? He played the International Junior President's Cup here in 2019. Mentioned his brother Chen Jin won the Asia Pacific Amateur in 2015. How about this golf course, Frank? You first saw it, what, 1981?
Yeah, marvelous. Always rated inside the top 5 of the world ranking. We're playing the composite golf course here, so 12 holes from the west, 6 from the east. And of course, if you want to know about golf designers, look at those two names, Dr. Alistair McKenzie and Alex Russell. They'll play at around 7,000 yards, can be stretched out a little bit longer. Just 2 par 5s out here, but it's a challenge for everybody.
Saw that it was introduced to the world at that 59 Canada Cup, won by the Australians Peter Thompson and Kel Nagle. Combined 6 Open Championship titles, 5 for Peter Thompson. Nagle, a year after that Canada Cup, denied Arnold Palmer in the Centenary Open at the old course at St. Andrews. By the way, that year they beat Sam Snead and Kerry Middlecoff by a lot. And now Kaburi for birdie to get it back to 5.
And it shows you how much nicer it is out here today, him going with shorts. Only Melburnians wore shorts yesterday.
Yeah, it was freezing yesterday.
But this is a really good look up the hill moving to his left.
That is the strength of his game, typically, his putting. And he has had sensational 2023. Won the Australian Amateur, the Western Amateur in the Chicago area. And just last weekend, Frank, he took down the best amateurs in the world at the Eisenhower in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, 5 of the top 6 amateurs were actually in that field. Shot 65 on Sunday. To be just the second New Zealander to win low individual. Last person to do that from New Zealand, Phil Tatarangi, 1992.
Not a long hitter. He is a polished player. Great set of hands, good iron player as well.
And he's no stranger to these shores. He's the Australian amateur champion. But this is actually where his run came yesterday, Rich. He heads to the 10th, made 4 birdies in a row. Segura. It's very easy to get defensive out here with the speed of the green, especially if you get above the hole.
Japanese national coach is Gareth Jones. He's out here this week. He's an Australian who actually was on the bag caddying for Antonio Murdaka in 2014, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Here is Azan Al-Rumi from Oman. Been a fixture at this event, Frank, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Yeah, it was his 9th time here. Tricky par 3 now. Back to 9. Bo Jin for his par.
Got a really good look. This one about 10 feet, moving just a little to his left, but he hates it.
is right in the thick of it at 1 over par. Not his best stuff, but still within shouting distance of this man who continues to lead. 1 over for the day. Opening 9 of 1 over 36 for Kazuma Kobori.
A little bit of congestion down here. You've got the 17th hole just to the players left of the 10th. Dogleg right par 4. And Colt, if you can just miss those bunkers down the right side, you can shorten this hole up.
Yeah. That drive is headed right at those bunkers. Might need to go, and it does not cover. Oh, he is going to have to lay well back.
Be interesting to see how close he is to the lip. So this is not the sort of golf we saw yesterday. He was bogey free. Just only 240 yards. Rich, you referenced the one weakness in Kobori's game. Not the longest hitter out here. The rest of the game, well, it's normally error free. And as that hole opens up, it will be very difficult. Beautiful par 4, par 5 flows around to the right. Now Segura.
And what a disappointing day for him yesterday. I mean, coming in as the highest ranked player in the field, so many expectations. And Frank, he just didn't have it yesterday.
Now look at that ball speed, 179, so that bunker's not even in play for him.
I mean, this is a guy who won 2 events in Japan in September. One was a professional tournament, the other a college event. They have a strong college program in Japan. Bo Jin.
He has plenty of firepower to cover that bunker. A man who has come so close to winning this great championship.
Yeah, he led for 71 holes at Amata Springs last year.
And he is just not comfortable with the golf swing. It's been a struggle for the last 12 months.
Yep.
That's a good looking one here, right over the right side of that bunker.
He has plenty. You love to see a golf course with a little bounce, a little run out. That's Royal Melbourne, Frank.
I've always thought that's the way the golf should be played. That's why you have generous fairways. There's a lot more options. It's not just straight line golf.
This is one of the better scenes. This is Azan Al-Rumi of Oman. He's 39. Year after year, he's brought his son to this championship. This is what now, 8 years old. Azan used to play tennis, but then he saw Tiger Woods play golf in 1997, and like so many people around the world, he was inspired to get into the game. He later met Tiger at a DP World Tour event in Abu Dhabi. Azan played sand courses initially. Oman didn't get its first grass course until 2010, but he absolutely loves the game. He's passing on that love to his son, and here they are now with Amanda Renner.
Joining us now is Azan Al-Rumi and his son Yusuf. You are the only player this week representing Oman. I believe this is your, let's see, 9th appearance. I had to look at that. It's unbelievable. I think your first one, Yusuf was just 1 year old.
Exactly. Yeah.
How unbelievable is this experience? What keeps you coming back competing here at the AAC?
I love this tournament. To me, it's the best tournament I have all year. I look forward to it every time. And yeah, as you said, it's the 9th time. I've been so fortunate to be representing Oman and looking forward to a great round today. One better than yesterday, I hope.
That's always the goal in golf, right? How fun is it to watch your dad? You've been walking all 18 holes every day, even the practice rounds.
It's very fun to watch my dad play because it's the first time to come like a big tournament to see my dad playing a good tournament as this.
What do you think the best part of your dad's game is?
His chipping.
What's the best part of your game? I saw you out there a little bit earlier.
Putting and my drive.
Putting and drive. So I have a feeling, will we be interviewing you as a player here in a couple years?
Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
That's the goal.
I know you're a part of the AAC Academy as well. Speak a little bit about how that helps you know, not just this week, but really in a really holistic way with your game.
Yes, a lot. I mean, the guys that's behind the AAC put a lot of effort in developing us, preparing us for this tournament. This is my second time. Last year we were in Dubai. This year we were in Thailand preparing for this tournament. They get us with all the information we need, and we've got the best coaches coaching me. And I want to thank everyone behind it, and especially Stephen Dean, the coach that's always supporting me and with me all the time.
They do an absolutely incredible job all year round. Now, you tell me, I want your insight. What does your dad have to do today to play well around Royal Melbourne? It's a hard course.
He needs to get better on his irons and the putting.
Dad, do you agree with that?
Of course I do. Yeah. I want to avoid all the big numbers I had yesterday. Yeah, and make him proud.
I think Yusuf might have a future in broadcasting, but first we're hopefully going to see you in the drive, chip, and putt at Augusta National. How about that? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Kid's got game, and he made a hole-in-one last year, Frank, at the Gala Golf Club. Will you love to see it?
Oh, you certainly do, and that, as he's talked about over the last few years, the experience that he gains from here, and for him, it's a can't-miss championship.
Middle East could start producing players. They're investing in golf, year-round weather. There's some good academies over there. Maybe we see him at the 2030 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Players like Yusuf at the Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals. For more information, how you can get your kid into this, it's a phenomenal initiative. Go to drivechipandputt.com. And now the par putt. So really nice of Azan to take some time earlier today to chat with Amanda. So many good stories like this, Frank, sort of at the back end of the field. He mentioned those academies, the R&A, the Masters Tournament, investing in these academies so that the less developed countries in terms of golf can begin to make their way. Now Lucas Michel from Australia.
Trying to get to +5. And he's a man that certainly knows a lot about architecture, golf course architecture.
He works with a great Mike Clayton, who is actually caddying for Lucas this week, designing courses in this region. And here's Jasper Stubbs, and let's bring in Paul Gow.
Yeah, he had to pitch out here, and now this is his par putt here. The wheels have sort of fallen off a little bit. He's struggled coming here. This is going in a little bit right to left. This will be a big save. Oh, wow. He's got out of trouble once again.
Yeah, shot that opening round of 68 yesterday. Anything in the 60s, those conditions. It's a wonderful score. Now, we saw the tee shot at Kabori at 10, his second.
All right, just a layup.
Fortunately, far enough back from the lip, Rich, so he could advance that ball down there. Still going to be a fairly lengthy third.
Back at the 9th hole now. Yamashita from Japan.
Up early on that putt, Rich. Just seeing a little bit more defensive putting today, despite the better conditions.
Bo Jin at the 10th.
Perfect tee shot, 228 yards left off a slight downslope. That's a 4-iron, and that is properly struck.
Yeah, you love that. Sawed off long iron shot with some wind, a la Rory McIlroy at the Scottish Open in what had to be one of the shots of the year. Hip high 2-iron. So we're underway. The golf course is holding its own unquestionably. It is Kazuma Kabori of New Zealand leading by 1. Wenyi Ding, former USGA Junior Am champ, is right there as well.
Currently just 8 players in the red at the moment. There will be a cut that will fall tonight. 60 players and ties for the first time. Standard of golf has improved over these 14 years of this championship, and currently that's about +10. So that'll be back-to-back 76s will get you in. 37 different countries though, and 7 players from my native New Zealand. One of which, Sam Jones, the left-hander. Never known a left-hander that couldn't putt, that's for sure. All great strokes. And of course, that all started with the great Sir Bob Charles, who won the New Zealand Open when he was 18. Good to see the teenagers playing at the highest level. Got rules officials actually from all over the Southeast Asia. Colt, you're down there. What's going on with this?
I am. They believe one of the golf carts ran over his golf ball. It was about halfway underneath the ground, and there was a tire track going through it, so I agree with him.
So when you know the exact position where the ball was, can be replaced, otherwise it has to be dropped. So that cut actually has slipped out one more shot. So currently plus 11, 65 guys in ties.
The Asia Pacific Amateur Championship is brought to you by Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? IBM, let's create. AT&T, we believe connecting changes everything. Mercedes-Benz, the vehicles are all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. The choice is all yours. Third shot at the 10th for the leader, Kabori.
Has 183 yards and a 7-iron. And he is hammered this. This needs to get down.
Just hear how hard the putting surface was.
And they're not going to get any softer, Frank.
No. It's unusual. Seen several errors from Kabori over the last 45 minutes to an hour.
Well, countries with the most participating players, not surprisingly, Australia with 13. Japan has 8, and then great representation from China, Chinese Taipei. India is growing. You know, Korea has been a very strong golf country through the years. Thailand as well is improving. Sugira had a ruling.
Yeah, Rich, a golf cart ran over his golf ball, so he ended up getting to take a drop, but still not the best lie, so just going to lay this one up. That's going to be just fine. Should have a sand wedge left for his third.
And Lucas Michel ready to go. They've been waiting for just a little bit.
He's no stranger to this golf course. Easily take those center bunkers out of play. He has to get down, actually. Get the big bounce down the left side.
Lucas is really immersed in the game. Top amateur player. We mentioned that he won the Mid-Am in 2019. He's also a course designer. Well on his way to success, whichever path he takes.
Hi, I'm Lucas Michel and I'm from Australia. It's been pretty much 12 months in the making for me. Yeah, when last year when they announced that it was going to be at Royal Melbourne, I got pretty excited because obviously it's my hometown. I played it the last couple of years and it's been great, and then to be able to play it at home is pretty special. Yeah, I've played here a lot. I know the course really, really well. I would think probably more than 50, and I probably caddied another 50 times, so maybe 100. So yeah, well, I won the US Mid-Am in 2019. I played the Masters in 2020 and the US Open as well that year. It's an incredible experience playing the Masters. You know, there's only 7 or so amateurs that play it each year. Everyone knows, you know, it's pretty much the most famous event in golf. So to get that opportunity at the Masters, and then obviously the Open as well. The experience that Augusta National gives the players of staying in the Crow's Nest and the amateur dinner, and you know, obviously Bobby Jones being the founder of the club and an amateur himself, they make sure that they treat the amateurs almost better than the professionals, I think. I actually spent a semester abroad in St Andrews, at St Andrews University. So in 2015, I lived over there for 6 months. So I love links golf. I love Scotland and the UK. And yeah, I'd love to be able to go over there and play the Open. I am a golf course architect. I work for Mike Clayton, who's actually caddying for me this week. I think it combines like a lot of interest for me. I studied an engineering degree, so I think the technical skills of that helps a little bit. Even from the age of 8 or 9, I'd be drawing golf holes, you know, on the back of a sketchbook, just imagining how cool it would be to like design a golf course.
He's on a bulldozer down in Tasmania for most of the year. At golf course is being developed by, you might remember this name, Matthew Goggin, played professionally outside of Hobart Airport, shaping greens, doing it all. I think he's going to make a mark in the game. He's really bright.
Yeah, he already is, and you know, I doubt we will see him as a professional player just because of his love for this architecture, places like this. Now, as we go back to 10. Third shot for Segura.
That from 84 yards, coming in nice and low. Oh, that's more like it.
Back to Stubbs now at the 6th.
Yeah, difficult hole this on a downslope going to this green that's only tucked in the front left-hand side. Oh, this one is heading left. It definitely is a sucker's pin. There's a big knob there, and he's finished in the wrong spot. Not good.
Kabori in a little bit of trouble here. Frank, what do you think? The scoring's a little bit higher, and the conditions are actually better than they were yesterday.
Yeah, greens are, they slowed them down a little bit because of the high winds they were expecting. So today they're a fraction quicker, and also the firmness. And of course, you go out there, you actually think, oh, well, it's green like golf. Hole location's a little tougher.
This is a tough shot right here, Frank. Not the best of lies. Looks like he's going to go low and try to bump it. And there is a slope there, but it's not going to get all the way to the hole.
He's going to have to make that to avoid 3 bogeys in a space of 4 holes.
I mean, Frank, you know it. You get out of position around these greens, you can have just some impossible up and downs.
Yeah, and putting surfaces are big enough too, Cole. That's the thing. But the runoff, there's no rough that borders the edge of these greens. Miss it long, that ball continues to advance. One more little look, just pops up in the air. So perhaps got a little high on the face. That's why I didn't get enough out of it.
And just to go to your point about how big these greens are, and the conditions are perfect, but Bo Jin was talking to me walking up the fairway, and he goes, it's so hard to get it close to these hole locations. And I think that's with the firmness and the slopes in these greens.
Yeah, if they just push some of these flags around, you bring in all these little subtle slopes. It's on top of a mound or on a little bit of a down slope. Chance for 3 here, though.
Yeah, that was a fantastic long iron. This from about 25 feet. Going to move a little bit to his right. And these putting surfaces are so fast but so smooth.
Good touch.
You've almost got to shorten up your putting stroke because you still want to be feeling like the strike itself is positive. You not want to be decelerating. Good fall.
Yeah, this is probably the most difficult shot around here. The little bit of a lip on that side mound.
This is Jasper Stubbs at the 6th.
Yeah, only one club in the bag here is the putter. You cannot play any other shot to get up this hill. It's going to sling it from right to left, just over the top of this knob. And these greens are certainly firmed up, that's for sure. This guy's taken one big kick. That's a pretty good result.
Back at the 10th hole. He's trying to save par here. So Kazuma Kabori.
Yeah, Rich, you make 6 here, you are kicking yourself walking over to the 11th tee. Because most of the guys in this field can get home in 2 and have an eagle look. Oh, that was a good putt.
Pays price, though, for a poor tee shot.
We're going to have a four-way tie at the top now.
He's 2 over on his round today. At some point, you thought maybe it would all catch up to him. Long flight, more than 9 hours from Abu Dhabi. Grueling weekend. Played alongside the second-ranked amateur in the world, Christo Lamprecht. Weekend shooting 67-65 to beat the U.S. Am champ Nick Dunlop by 1. So that was a premium field. All the travel. Wasn't feeling well last weekend. And here he is. Tied for the lead now at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Says that if he does not win this week, he will turn professional. He was the medalist at the Australasian Q School, so he would start next week in Queensland if he doesn't win. Win here, he stays amateur. Now Sugiura trying to fight his way back. Oh boy.
And Rich, he is still looking for his first birdie of the championship. The highest ranked player in the field has not made a birdie.
Hard to believe.
It's a hard game, Rich.
He was in Abu Dhabi last week representing Japan in the Eisenhower Trophy. Now back to the 6th. This is Stubbs.
Yeah, a little slippery left to right. You don't need these Friday afternoon. Can get away from you.
And it did.
Maybe the thought of the prize at the top is starting to affect some of these players so early in the week.
Sugiura finishing up.
So only 2 par 5s at Royal Melbourne, 3 par 3s, Rich. So you're going to have to work hard. It's not exactly like he's got a lot of birdie holes in front of him.
Right now at the famous par 3, the 11th. Bo Jin ready to go.
Just 151 today. This whole location on the front of the green, and you cannot afford to come up short. It'll come right back to your feet.
That's an excellent shot, but that'll be quick coming down the slope.
And Frank, there's obviously a great collection of golf courses in this area. I've been lucky enough, this is the 3rd one I've seen. Some of the best par 3s in the world, and not one of them is over 200 yards.
Yeah, it's good to see for a change too. You know, when this golf course was designed for every level of play. Now back to 12.
Jimmy Zhang.
It's another one. It's a good approach shot, but it's above the hole. It's getting better all the time. Excellent.
Another New Zealander.
You can see the difference there just in the 2 hole locations. Yesterday this hole was a little easier by virtue that you're going to be generally putting uphill. As Colt's already referenced, that flag on the front, you must avoid the false front, and generally your birdie putt is down the hill, much more difficult.
Yeah, and it's just 152, but you got to fly at least 148 to get it up on top, or it comes a good 30 yards off the green. But this group's starting to fall a little bit behind after that ruling. Oh, this one is fanned out to the right, needs to go. Oh, it's good now.
Bold shot.
Well, this is regarded as one of the great par 3s in the game. Why do you think it's so widely admired?
Yeah, I just love it. I mean, it makes you step up and hit a really quality shot. No shot is easy. Even though it's a short iron, the putting surface is really difficult. And like we said, if it comes up short, it rolls a good 30 yards off the green. Then it's surrounded by very deep bunkers.
It's turning back towards the flag.
That was a good-looking golf swing. Oh, and a good shot.
Right over the flag stick. A touchy putt, though, down the hill. Incredible when Antonio Murdaca won here in 2014, Frank, and you were on the call. Didn't have a single 3-putt over 72 holes and won by 7.
Yeah. He was the last man in the field. Now at 12, Jimmy Zhang. Pays off that approach shot.
He reached the quarterfinals of that Western Amateur North Shore in Chicago when this man, Kazuma Kobori, won that Western Amateur. He's now dropped down into a tie for the lead, 2 over on the day, but a chance to get a birdie at the 11th when we come back.
Well, the lead yesterday after that opening round. Kobori there shot 5 under yesterday, a 2-shot lead. It's all changed today. The sun is out. That leaderboard is starting to condense. One more look here at the 11th. 152 yards. Holt Nost was just referring to that roll off on the front edge of the green. So if they stick the flags on the front on any of these greens, the golf course actually will play more difficult. I remember Hale Irwin when he shot 64, which actually became the course record in the 80s. Very next day, he shot in the mid-70s. He said the difference was when he shot 64, he putted up the hill. When he was putting down the hill, par all of a sudden became extremely difficult. So on a day like today, you're going to have to take advantage of the par 5. Speaking of that, here we are at 10, the 3rd shot for Lucas Michel, who'd driven it left off the tee. Good iron player turf here, very similar to links golf. Good strike there, gets a little bit of spin. Just the defense of these par 3s. Push up green, just enough. You don't necessarily need to have gaping front bunkers or water protecting the front of the green like a moat. Kobori will still have to give this birdie putt a little bit of respect coming down the hill.
Birdie putt. It is a ticklish one. You can see down that hill for Kazuma Kobori, and he has work left. Welcome to Royal Melbourne.
It's one of those putts, I think, purely because of the 3 birdies he's made. Rich is trying to get that shot back rather than realizing he was actually out of position despite only having 25 feet.
Frank, the importance of staying below the hole here?
Yeah, it's easier said than done because some of these hole locations, you have to affect, even like Bo Jin here, Colt, was an excellent tee shot, but he gives us a little bit of a nudge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing people have putted it off the green here before at 11.
Barely took it back.
I mean, just gets it going. But I know you want to be putting uphill, but here at 11 with this hole location, you just can't afford to come up short. And this group is being timed, guys. They are 7 minutes behind the pace of play schedule.
That's a big gap right there. We're going to have to pick it up. Now, Yamashita at 1 over par. Full flop.
He's obviously watched a lot of TV, that's for sure. Went for the harder shot.
What did you think of that play?
I didn't think it was necessary, to be honest, but strike was good. I enjoyed watching it. Now back at the par 3.
Yes, Gira.
Much easier putt, Colt.
Yeah, and can he finally break the seal?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. 2 great looks in a row and just can't get anything going. 11 straight pars to start his round today.
Still in position to play the weekend.
When's the last time you think he went 29 holes without a birdie?
Yeah, this is a key putt for Kobori. Good 5-6 feet left here.
Boy, that is a brutal couple of holes right there. The easy par 5 10th, hits it in the bunker, then goes long on his 3rd, makes bogey, Hit a good shot off the tee here. Just a devilish putt down the hill, and he 3-putts. And now that is 4 bogeys in his last 5 holes. And he's lost the lead.
This is a different player than we saw yesterday. I mean, going bogey-free in those conditions yesterday was unbelievable.
Now Bo Jin for his par. Okay, so there are 3 players now at 3 under par. Wenyi Ding, CT Lin, and Jimmy Zhang. Right now at the 10th, it's an eagle try for Sam Jones.
They're putting it through the fescue.
Good looking roll right there.
Part of that 3-man team from New Zealand that went to Abu Dhabi last week for the Eisenhower.
He also reached the quarterfinals of the U.S. Mid-Amateur at Sleepy Hollow back in New York. He'll have a chance here. 2 over par. Just a beautiful afternoon. It's after 4:30 in Australia. 15 hours ahead of East Coast time in the U.S. And this is some par 4 right here, Frank.
Yeah, just beautifully shaped here. It's really how much of that bunker do you want to bite off? For every sort of 10 yards to the right you go, you're going to be a club shorter. It actually doesn't look the full 62 yards of fairway behind those bunkers from the tee. That's where a practice round certainly comes in. You think there's enough green there on that left side, but do not be long here, because you almost guarantee a bogey, and anything short is more than dragged off the front of the screen. It's a great second shot here, but depends on how brave you want to be off the tee.
Here's Bo Jin.
And Frank, Bo Jin has really struggled since this championship last year. He's fallen to 166 in the world amateur rankings. His coach at Oklahoma State said he's really been struggling with the golf swing. Recently started working with E.J. Pfister at the beautiful Oak Tree Club in Edmond, Oklahoma, and that was not beautiful.
No, that's not an oak tree, that's a eucalyptus tree. It's trouble. Yeah, that's surprising, Colt, too, because when he left Amata Springs last year, it looked like he was going to have a good year. The game was in good shape.
And talking to his college coach, Alan Bratton, said he thinks him and Mr. Pfister found something, and it obviously played a little better yesterday, but that one is problems. I don't know if we'll find that one.
Yeah, his brother is actually a past champion in this event. Now Segura. 3-wood because it's down breeze.
His brother winning in 2015.
Jen Ching.
I'm a little surprised he's going with 3-wood here, Frank. I mean, I know he can cover the bunker with the helping wind, but I don't think driver runs out, and you can just be so much more aggressive and try to get a short iron into the 12th.
Yeah,
Well, this one's perfect.
yeah, really good.
Chase is forward too. So maybe that first birdie comes here. Good angle into that left flag. Now the wheels have come off for Kabori, so needs fairways, needs greens. Doesn't have the length of the other two, so driver.
Yeah, no surprise there. He's got to steady the ship here. This one looks like it's headed just a little right, and it clanks the tree. Looks like it drops straight down into the fescue.
Well, there's a little clump of long grass there.
Reload now for Bo Jin. Provisional ball here.
This does not help them get back in position. This one's safely up the left side.
Always better the second time around.
And of course, once they're out of position too, the stopwatch comes on. And it's not the whole group that gets penalized, so you start looking at each other and decide who's the slowest one in the group or who's causing the issue.
Well, I tried to signal back and let them know that we had it, but I don't blame him for wanting to hit an extra one.
This is also hugging the right side. It's good now. You would have wished that was the first one.
Back at 10, this is a par 5. Yamashita, after that full flop, trying to convert and get it to even par right in the championship. Get there, just ran out of juice. Dies at the final moment. Jimmy Zhang had a nice move. Here he is at 13, his second shot, the short 4.
This is a good place to pitch from, straight up the green. And he'll have that to take the outright lead to get to 4 under.
To the 7th with Paul Gow, who's following Stubbs.
Yeah, pretty good smart play here. He got it way left, so he had more of the green to play with. This has got a bit of a false front here. He's got to hit it up on the up into the bank to kill it a little bit. He's really struggling to the house here. He's getting the ball in the right spots. Oh, that's a nice shot, getting it under the hole.
So what's so good about this golf course? So many ways to play it. Go upstairs. He took it, kept it on the ground. Well, there is so much riding at this championship. So much opens up to the champion. An invitation to the Masters, then Royal Troon for the 2024 Open Championship, and the 129th Amateur Championship will go to Ireland and Ballyliffin Golf Club. All of that to the winner of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. And since the championship's inception back in 2009, the mantra has consistently been to create heroes. And boy, have they ever accomplished that, these great organizations. With more, here's Amanda Renner.
This is the 14th playing of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship, and we're down under at the famous Royal Melbourne Golf Club on the south coast of Australia. For the founding partners, it's another opportunity to grow the game in the region, with invites to some of golf's biggest tournaments waiting for the champion.
I've always thought you do things better when you work with other people. And certainly in this case, we have the Asia Pacific Golf Confederation that represents 42 countries through a big part of the world. And in the R&A that has done so much for golf over the years. We've had a great relationship with both of these organizations for many, many years now.
And that's where it all started, this ability to say, okay, we believe passionately in amateur golf and the importance of amateur golf. How can we create a pathway and an opportunity for the best players in the region to be able to show the world how good they are?
What has happened, or what's transpired over the years, is that our kids, for the first year or two, it was quite unbelievable. That is it really going to happen? Are these kids really going to go to the Masters? And when they saw them actually playing at the Masters, that suddenly the interest of all the governing bodies became, from 15, 18 members, we are now 45.
How important is this championship to take all this potential and really elevate it and give them such an amazing opportunity to just do more?
Well, I think you have to start by thinking about what the goal was, the common goal. And that was to develop a platform for these young men to show their skills, to have a bright light shine on them, and then take that back to their countries.
We have our own Masters champion. That's the great thing about it. We have our own Open champion, who is a graduate of the Asian Amateur Championship. We're very proud of the fact that Hideki and Cameron Smith have done so well, and they're now recognized all over the world.
It was inevitable that those names were out there. But the question is, were they able to be developed as young people and to be able to show those skills? And I think this championship gave them that focal point in the year, but they also saw that as the platform and the springboard to play the Masters, play in the Open Championship. You know, I think that's been amazing to watch, and the next generation are coming.
We've had 2 major champions, 24 PGA Tour winners have come out of the Asia Pacific, and over 120 victories around the world. So just when you look at that part of it, it's been a huge success.
And creating heroes is about that ability to identify not just the individual, but also then be able to then go on and see what's the next level of heroes. And for us, we opened a spot in for the Open for the winner here. It was all about saying these guys are good enough now to compete, and we wanted to see them play in an Open Championship.
We felt from the beginning it was important to have a carrot out there, something that these young men could look forward to, and I think it really elevated the event from day one. So that just really adds to the importance of this international event.
14th year of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Chairman Ridley citing a number of factors in the growth of the Asia Pacific Amateur, playing some of the best venues across the region, like Royal Melbourne, operational excellence, global sponsors, widespread TV coverage in, how's this, 160 countries, quality of the fields, increase in top-ranked players, and more nations participating. And trouble for Bo Jin here at the 12th.
Yeah, Rich, they were lucky to find this first one, just trying to pitch it out, and it's not out.
See, they're just jammed up in some of the local trees there. The lie actually was all right. So generous fairways, but you miss them, you certainly pay the price.
All right, Jimmy Zhang now, this to take the lead. Oh man, that was a vicious slip out.
Yep. He's playing in his second. His first was actually at Dubai Creek. Spent a lot of his golf actually in North Carolina. Cruel lip out. Still 4 under today.
You mentioned Dubai Creek. That was 2021. The Asia Pacific Amateur ended up tied for 36th after sharing the first round lead. Now Kabori second at the 12th.
Caught a great break, missing that fescue, but this one's going to come up short.
Hopefully it stays up away from the bunker.
Royal Melbourne's taken a piece out of these elite amateur players. The par save at the 7th for Stubbs.
Yeah, a little right to lefty here for Stubbs. Wow. It's hard to get into the house. He's struggling with his golf swing down these last few holes.
Third shot, Bo Jin back at 12.
Still has nothing, just hammered that one. And it drilled the rake, but ended up catching the front bunker.
It's really been mistake after mistake, isn't it? I mean, you're forced to go low. I mean, there's all sorts of roots around that ball. So just trying to avoid the big number at the moment. Now, back to 11. See what Yamastar can do from the bottom of this hill.
Quick walk.
This is going to work out.
He knew it. Okay. That's what you love about Royal Melbourne, is all the different options, ways to play it, Frank.
Yeah, if you just put rough there, really, the Loftus club comes out of the bag, and that's you're forced to play that. When the ball's on the ground there, really, you could use 6 or 7 different clubs or different types of shots. It's a great little 3. And the way the leaders are going, 1 over is well placed. Now, catch up to one of the featured groups.
4th shot now for Bo Jin.
And you want no part of coming up short. It'll roll at the green, and he played safe here, and he'll have a chance to save his bogey. Frank, when he saw where his tee shot ended up, he goes, I'll take bogey right now.
Frank China, as you well know, has had success in the Asia Pacific Amateur.
Yeah, none more famous than Tia Long Guan to win at 14 and then go to an Augusta National and make the cut. But since then, too, we've just mentioned Bo's brother. He won in 2015. Yushin Lin, the left-hander, won at Royal Wellington. Saw that. And, of course, 4 years ago, Shishan.
Kazuma Kabori, 12th hole.
He needs something good to happen here. This one comes out nice and high. Needs to sit a little.
That's a good shot. Still a tester.
Koichi Suzuki, second shot here at 13. He's from the Philippines.
Oh, this is well played, Rich.
Knockout like Manny Pacquiao.
That's a short par 4. What a bonus.
Back to the 12th hole.
Look where he's aiming, Colt. He's got to aim this up on the top of the brow.
Oh, he's going to have to almost hit this to, I mean, he could honestly put this in the bunker, and then it's going to go straight left and straight downhill.
Didn't give it enough.
I don't think he had any chance of getting it, you know, even with the hole there. That's pretty good.
Great players around the world over the last 56 years. They know full well about the 12th hole. Weisskopf, the 72 World Cup, 4-putted here. Ernie Els in 2004 at the old Heineken Classic made 8 here. Same year that he shot 60, but finished with 76 and hung on for dear life. Still won the tournament, but this can be a diabolical hole, Frank.
It can, and it just starts with a tee shot. We detailed this fairway nearly 62 yards wide, but miss it. I still think it's one of the best second shots on the golf course. You have to flight it, even though it's a big green. Really, there's a small section to hit into today.
And Frank, with all the chaos going on, I actually ran into a fan of yours. She might have the same last name as you, but that's beside the point.
Here's the bogey putt for Bo Jin.
Boy, and the wind is starting to gust. Oh.
You guys well know, Frank and Colt, high-level players, what really can challenge players most is a firm golf course with wind.
Yeah, with quick greens. It's the defense. I mean, the mantra today is tighten the fairways and grow the rough. No, you give the guys enough leeway off the tee. They make a mistake, and just trying to get the ball back into play and minimize the damage becomes the difficulty.
You know, what makes these guys nervous is when they can't control things. And when the golf course gets crazy firm, the ball just gets away from them when it's on the ground. Especially here around Royal Melbourne. I mean, you get out of position, you're just praying for par.
This to avoid a third straight bogey.
Yeah, that's a great save. Wheels were coming off. He's in trouble off the tee. It's a big par. Couldn't have come at a better time.
And Stubbs was in trouble at the 8th, so this now is third shot, and Paul Gow is there.
Yeah, hitting the right rough again, struggling with the golf swing. Only 124 back into this. Plenty of green. Pin stuck to the right-hand side. This is headed just right of the pin. Well, he's really not finishing this game off. His head's down. And he's struggling big time.
Yeah, he's still very much in the championship. Segura at the 12th.
It's a 4-footer. He's got to get outside the hole. Oh, just hammers it home.
Well, there's a good up and down from over the back of this green. Still no birdies.
Yeah, 12 straight pars. For more information, championship video, and live stats, you can find it all. Just go to aacgolf.com. This has really been an interesting second day as the golf course has stiffened. Breezy, firm, and we have a 3-way tie atop the leaderboard. It is the 14th playing, day 2 of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship from Royal Melbourne.
Juntai Lin, that round of 67 this morning has really jumped him through the pack, especially with the leaders struggling today. Now 12, the dogleg right par 4. The golf course designer, we can call him that, and excellent player in his own right, Lucas Michel. Does he dare take this flag on? That's a good strike, but that'll be a quick putt. Just enough breeze. Better club and a half. 15 miles an hour or so of breeze coming from the south. Now from Hong Kong here at the closing hole, 18. Lamb See if he can make a birdie play. Now that just might guarantee him the cut. So what a jump. Yeah, that's worthy of a hug, isn't it? 80-72, and you might just get to play the final 2 rounds in the weekend. Now short par 4, 13th. Surprising, this group here is struggling. Just over 310 yards to the front edge of this green. Downhill. Just beautiful. So many options there. The bunkers are actually in the middle of this fairway. These longer hitters, they can take the direct line straight at that. Hope for the chase forward. One place you really don't want to go, though, is the first front right bunker. You can see that 282 yards to that. So if anything, down the left side, opening up the green, and then you're pitching back up the hill.
Here is a young player from Japan, Segura. Struggled day 1, all pars through 12 holes on day number 2.
And Frank, with this right hole location, I like hitting it up the left, but he's taking this one actually up the right center. Should be okay.
Now it's got to find that front bunker, but you're right. At least it's not in the first bunker.
Kazuma Kobori.
You know, all the talk about angles these days, but I think this is a perfect example, Frank. You hit it up that left, you got all the green to work with.
Just come out of it a touch. Might scrub some speed off. Just timing is a little off for Kobori today.
He got off to a nice start, was under par early, and then the wheels just came off.
Surprising club choice here for Bo Jin.
Might show you he doesn't have much confidence in the driver right now. We've seen this over the years, that pump fake.
Surprised with it. I mean, you could nearly drive it on the screen.
This is a 3-wood headed pretty far right.
Really didn't see the value with that off the tee.
Kazuma Kobori was the first round leader after a scintillating 566. That actually tied Sir Michael Bonallack for low amateur score here at the composite golf course at Royal Melbourne. Stood for 55 years. Here now more on the young man from New Zealand.
Hi, my name is Kazuma Kobori and I'm from New Zealand. My first proper big amateur tournament was in 2019 in China, and then went on to play last year at Thailand. Didn't quite perform as well as I hoped, but also again, very good learnings playing with the best in the world, and hopefully get some more learnings this week also. I've played Royal Melbourne before. It's not a long track, but it's very strategic and the greens are pretty funky, so something to keep in mind. But yeah, looking forward to it. I just finished university like a couple weeks ago, so I've got nothing to do now outside of golf, so I got to find something, but we'll see. I've represented New Zealand for, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years now, and it's been a fantastic time. And you know, as my amateur career is possibly closing down, you know, I got to thank them for all the support they've given me over the years. I've had a few wins this year. Won the Australian Amateur, won the Q School in Australia, won the Western Am, and won last week in the individuals. So playing quite nicely, and just need to not get ahead of myself and just got to play the same game that I have been. I should be all right.
His father Ryozo was a professional dirt biker. Kazuma saying he learned early from his dad that falling down and getting up was a part of life and sport. So I don't think this recent tough stretch over the last 6 holes or so will deter him. You can see he's all smiles out there. He's got a lot of bounce. May not have all the power, Frank, but he's savvy, and there's a toughness about him as well.
Oh, there is. It's worth reminding people too. He first played in this championship in 2019, and because of COVID, the New Zealand team didn't travel. So consequently, he played his second one last year. So that would have actually helped. Now, let's go to 14.
Yeah, Jimmy Zhang, his 3rd shot.
So just sit those hands a little behind the club face to try and get even more loft.
You see a guy in a bunker sit down like that, Frank, you can't help but think of Seve, who won the 1981 Australian PGA Championship here, and I know you remember seeing him in a bunker.
That was the first time I ever saw him hit a shot live, as we watched Lucas Michel here at 12. 6 or 7 feet will be fast.
Lucas lives right here in the Melbourne area, downtown. Such a vibrant city. Here's the guy who hit the opening tee shot, Frank.
Yeah, 7:30 yesterday morning.
Jasper Stubbs.
Yeah, this is the save, not having 3 bogeys in a row.
Okay. At 68-74. He's even par. Wants to lift a trophy here at Royal Melbourne. He has work to do. Family bragging rights. Check out the board inside the clubhouse. 2020 Women's Club Championship. That's his sister, Piper Stubbs.
Don't you hate it when your sister is better than what you are, or at least has their name on the board?
Listen, the head professional here is Richard Hatt. His son Tom won the Men's Club Championship last weekend in some brutal conditions. This is a wonderful club, a couple of thousand members. They love the game. All right, Bo Jin now second at 13.
This is no fun at all. Real tight lie, but he caught it great.
So good, bro.
Just to keep it on that top deck was well done.
That is a quality shot. I can't tell you how hard that was.
Firm underneath, which helps. So you actually see players go with less bounce normally at Royal Melbourne because of the firmer conditions underfoot.
I don't blame him. You got to get the sole of that club under the ball.
Kabori, second shot.
Left it in a great spot. Plenty of green to work with off the upslope. Normally this should be a gimme up and down.
Not too bad. He's looking down like the club bounced, but
no, he got a face full of sand.
Oh.
The old sand shower. That's fun.
Jimmy Zhang now par putt at the 14th.
Be a good up and down from that over the back of the green.
Never had a chance, and so he will drop to 2 under par, and now we have a 2-way tie atop the leaderboard. C.T. Lin and Wenyi Ding. Lin in with 67, Ding with 70.
Now Segura.
Very similar shot. Just based. Oh.
What happened there?
That was off the hosel.
Yeah, we can see what happened. Wow. Sometimes all you can do is smile.
Talking about having a little less bounce, because club. No, it was just plain no blade, all shaft. Of course, the longer you play this game, no one is immune from that shot. No one enjoys it.
We've all done it. And the next one's not very much fun after that.
Yeah, there's always something that just sticks in the memory, like, you know, how did I do it? Can I do it 2 times in a row?
It's amazing. It's so much easier to remember the bad shots.
You ever have a bout with it? I mean, you're a high-level professional. You won 15 times around the world. Or did you know somebody who had a bout, a legitimate bout?
I remember working actually with John Mahaffey, and John Mahaffey, who'd won the PGA Championship and a Players Championship, never had a shank in his life. And we were doing a Champions Tour event. He was doing a demo, and he shanked his first ever wedge shot. And I didn't believe it when he was telling the story. He said, "What do I do now?" So he felt like everybody else, except he was about in his late 60s. And I said, it's taken you that long to feel like everybody else that plays this game. Yes, no, it's not much fun. Colt, are you rubbing off on these guys today?
I tell you what, I saw a lot of this morning when I teed it up. It was.
Are they still on the clock?
Oh, they are definitely still on the clock.
How's that impact the player?
I think it just makes it so uneasy for these guys. I mean, they're obviously struggling. The golf course is playing hard, and they know there's a referee sitting right over here timing every shot they have.
Check this out, Colt. I mean, again, it's the beauty of Royal Melbourne.
You feel like you got your back to the wall, this time back to the hole.
Yeah, he's got to throw this well up in the fringe and then just get it to pretty much come straight sideways. Oh, he's hammered it. Wow. It was about 35 feet from the hole off the tee shot, and now he's going to have, well, I don't know when this ball is going to stop, but he's going to have a lot farther than that for his par.
And just going back to the slow play too, Rich, I mean, the easiest way to speed up is to make birdies. These guys are in trouble now. You know, that's the thing. More shots, more time.
I got to write that down. You make birdies, you play faster.
Well, let's see if we can see a birdie at 16 by Michel.
This is a Jordan Indra Marcelo.
That's just the fourth birdie at 16, so it can be done out here at Royal Melbourne today.
Yeah, he's right there on that cut line. Proudly representing Indonesia. And now Bo Jin here at the 13th. Birdie putt to get it back to +1.
Playing ready golf, trying to make up some time.
No.
Oh my, this place is getting fiery.
Years ago, they actually cancelled a round of the Australian Open on this very hole. Ball wouldn't stop. Literally, it was windy conditions.
This whole group needs to take a timeout, but they don't have any left.
Segura, long par putt.
And Frank, obviously when you're struggling, your mind's already racing, but the fact that you're on the clock as well, I mean, it's just chaos out here.
It's not like they're running it up to tap-in distance.
All right, so short par 4. He's in the green side bunker with his tee shot, and he limps out of here with a bogey.
And Rich, this is just only one of 2 holes that are playing under par today, so it's considered the easiest hole on the golf course.
And I would suspect a great membership with Captain Tony Rule. They're in the clubhouse with a sly smile right now, because I actually thought before the start of the day, Frank, that Kazuma Kaburi, here he is, had a chance to maybe run away.
Yeah, that was really the sort of the talk in the locker room.
Beautiful putt right there. He
That's
shot
2 good putts in a row he's made
yesterday. Yeah, so he's steadied, and that's not surprising, Frank. He's tested at the highest levels of amateur golf, and as we have detailed, has had a tremendous 2023. Now Bo Jin.
And guys, I have a feeling Mr. Bo Jin might be getting a bad time. The referee has made his way to the tee, so these guys are going to get another talking to.
Yeah, he's out of sorts, and that really stings. You're standing over what was that, about a 5-footer, 6-footer for birdie, and you walk out with bogey.
Yeah, and in fairness to Bo Jin too, he politely played first to try and give Segura a little bit more time, and he walks away with 5, trying to do the right thing.
This is a man from India. He's just inside the cut line.
You give him a little bit more breathing room if this goes in. Great three. India has some of the oldest golf courses in the world. Royal Calcutta.
So Yuvraj Singh.
So 62 players, so could very well stay at 11 over.
Tough golf course today. Firm, fiery. The greens are quick. The winds are whipping a little bit. Really testing these players. Three-way tie atop the leaderboard. Round 2 of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
So Winyi Ding, 2 rounds sub par, finds him 3 under and still in the clubhouse. Probably enjoying the fact that the leaders have been struggling today. And one of the favourites coming in, Kabori, just made a really good par putt, bat at 12, and then birdie 13. Slight dogleg right, par 4. Oh, once again, I mean, he's a straight hitter, so that's a couple of fairways he's missed. Last few holes. This group being timed, so it's not helping. Now back to 13. Lucas Michel, perhaps he could knock it on here. 310 to the front edge of this green. Yards, that is. Four bunkers here at Royal Melbourne. Well placed. Hole ahead. Segura still yet to make a birdie in this championship. Firm and fast.
You see the leaderboard here. Wenyi Ding of China, former USGA Junior Amateur Champion, is at 3 under par. Also, CT Lin, Chinese Taipei, they call him Teddy Lin, in with a superb round of 67. He's been done for quite some time, and here he's sitting on top of that leaderboard. And when he was finished, he talked with Amanda Renner.
Joining us now is Teddy Lin. Low round of the day so far at 4 under par. Very different conditions today than we saw yesterday. What were the differences out there on the course that allowed you to capitalize?
Yeah, today and yesterday, the wind, today definitely like a lot less compared to yesterday. Yesterday I was in the afternoon group and the wind was gusted like so hard, so it makes the course a lot harder, especially with the firm green and fast green. So today is definitely more scoreable in the morning, and let's see how's the wind doing in the afternoon.
I'm sure you won't mind if the wind picks up a little bit now that you're done for the day. This is your 4th appearance here at the AAC, obviously trying to win it for the first time. What have you learned in your past appearances that will help you continue to climb up this leaderboard? Yeah,
I feel like for this week, based on my past experience, I just kind of feel like you shouldn't set up any goal for like score-wise, but just like focus on a small thing that you can do well and just one shot at a time, and just try to focus on my 3 key words. I work with sports psychologists, so that's gonna help. And I think not give yourself too much pressure, just focus on every shot, and step by step definitely helps me today.
Well, I have to ask you then, what are those 3 key words?
Oh yeah, it's actually really simple. It's pick the target, trust myself, and finish the swing. And I feel like for me, trust is a really important word, because my mistake used to be like a lot of them used to be just not confident enough and just like afraid to make mistake. So that kind of just made the mistake happen even more often, just not even be able to finish the swing. So that's the 3 key word.
Well, it certainly worked today with the low round of the day so far, sitting at 4 under par. Thank you so much for the time. Good luck on the weekend. Yeah, thanks.
Senior at the University of Washington. You saw the W on his pullover, inspired by CT Pan. That's quite a round, Frank.
It is, and not just the low round of the day, but that's actually his low round of this championship. This is the 4th time he's played in it. So that's a little tip of the cap to Teddy.
Trouble for Kazuma Kobori.
Yeah, this has got to be just a pitch out. Got to take your medicine here. And that's exactly what he's done. Try to make 4 the hard way.
It's a good par 4. Dog leg right. You only see about half of the fairway from the back of the tee. But a few patches of grass, as you can see with Kobori, that you really have to muscle your way out.
That's 67 by CT Lin. Best round of the day so far by a couple of shots. I'm not sure who's way here. Segura, or it looks like Segura.
Segura is going to be first to play, coming from the left-hand rough. And he's actually the one who received the bad timing on the last hole. So another one is going to be trouble. But this from 155, plays about 6 or 7 yards up the hill. Oh, and this is way left. That almost hit your fan, Frank.
And that's going to slow things down even more.
Now Jin.
From the dead center of the fairway, 146. Wind in off the right. Really solidly struck just left of the hole.
That's on. Going up a little shy. Still, that'll be an uphill putt. So too bad.
Jimmy Zhang now at 15.
Yeah, hit a marvellous shot here, playing the banks what you should, got the ball on the ground, got it to 30 feet under the hole. It's coming up a little bit right to left here, trying to get the speed, but a 4 on this hole is a good 4. Tell you what, guys, this guy can strike it. He's one of the better strikers I've seen this week.
Very solid player. 15, hardest hole on the golf course yesterday, just by virtue of sticking the hole in the back right. A little easier today. 2 under, though. Just 1 back from that trio at the top. Speaking of the trio at the top, one of those, Kobori, now his 3rd.
Got 118 left up the hill, playing about 123. 120 gets you up top, and this is a pull, and he hates it.
Just out of rhythm, isn't it? Just the quickest swing, trouble off the tee.
Really the whole group. That kind of day. What a golf course. And great championship underway. 3 at 3 under at Royal Melbourne.
Royal Melbourne playing just 6,900 yards today, but is actually testing some of the best amateurs in the world. Conditions warmer today, breeze not as strong, but greens firmer and faster, and that has been the problem. Cut drifting out close to that plus 11 mark. 60 in ties will play the weekend. Just a wonderful piece of property. 36 holes here at Royal Melbourne, the East Course and the West Course. Just about 35 minutes from downtown Melbourne, one of the great sporting cities in the world. They say in 2026, Melbourne's population will exceed that of Sydney. So fastest growing city in Australia. Now, drop needed here for Segura, Colt.
Tell you what, the referee is earning his paycheck today. They are making him work hard. He's going to take an unplayable and be hitting his 4th. He can't afford to drop too many more shots.
And of course, you get flustered too, Colt. That's the thing. It's hard to slow the brain down and just get your natural rhythm or pace of play.
Oh, his mind's going a million miles an hour right now. Between the bad timing, them being on the clock, and now taking it unplayable.
Ruling was given by Connor Finley. He's been helping us with the setup of the golf course.
Big trouble for Segura, Frank.
Yes, called in one of the senior referees, Connor Finley, Colt, to assist him with the drop.
And Connor's earning his paycheck today, Frank. He's had to give several rulings. This is going to be his fourth now. And Frank, he's right around the cut line. That's going to be for a bogey from about 15 feet.
Yeah, unplayable lie. It's a very severe penalty for just missing this green to the left.
The 16th hole now, Jimmy Zhang.
Yeah, this playing 170, straight down breeze here. This pin is hardly on the green, the front side of it. This one heading left.
Yeah, big green here at 16. So that is a long way away from the flag.
The bunkering here is spectacular.
Majestic.
As good as any golf course in the world. I see if someone can generate a little magic.
Yeah, Bo Jin for his birdie.
And Frank, with the weather forecast, I mean, it's only going to get warmer. The wind's going to continue to blow. This place is going to dry out. It's going to be brutal this weekend.
Yeah, if that forecast is the same, Colt, we might actually just see 3 or 4 under actually being the eventual winning score.
I think I would take 4 under right now and just call it a week.
We talked about the great success Chinese players have had at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. 5-time Open and 2-time Masters tournament winner Tom Watson convinced China will become a powerhouse. He's been over there. They're at these academies. They all swing it like Adam Scott. Now Kaburi, long ways for par.
Yeah, big swinger from left to right. He's walking after it early. And I don't think that's a good thing.
Just gone a little foot or so too far. So more stress.
A lot of shaking of the head from this group. Frank, my question is, how in the world did Ernie Els shoot 60 around here?
Well, members are still asking that, Colt. They were horrified.
But of course, Colt, he also shot 76 that same week in the final round. So it tells you, how quickly it can go sideways here at Royal Melbourne, as it has for this featured group today. Bogey putt now for Segura.
Well, of course, he has to be careful now because he's going to be right on the cut line, the highest ranked player coming in this week.
He is right on the number. 120 players in this field, low 60 in ties to the weekend. Bo Jin.
A little more than he wanted, just over 3 feet. And you can tell they're all trying to move a little quicker.
Yeah.
So 3-putt at the previous hole. 3-putt here again.
Just loss of confidence, loss of rhythm. Gone double bogey, bogey, bogey. He's having a really good day up until that point.
Yeah, and Rich just going back to being put on the clock. I mean, it happened on 11 after their first shot, and he's kind of fallen apart since that's happened.
Bogey putt for Kaburi.
Well, since the 11th hole, this group has actually played those stretch of holes 7 over. So if you want to know what being put on the clock means or changes, now to 16.
Jimmy Zhang.
Well, Rich, you were talking about how good this bunkering was. This bunkering runs up the middle. Jimmy Zhang can't go anywhere near this pin. He needs to take 5 out of play and play way left of the pin here and use the banks. And that is the key around here, is using the banks you possibly can.
Long walk to 15 on what has been a long day for Kazuma Kobori, who began at 5 under with a 3-shot lead. He is now 1 back here at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
Now here at 17, the par 5. We've already seen 1 eagle today for Zachary Swanwick, 17-year-old. He's one of the few players actually hanging in there this afternoon. Have that putt there to get a little closer to the lead. Got a little bit of confidence, some swagger. He's already won the New Zealand under-19s. It comes from Napier, which is in the North Island. It's a good wine-growing country there. Played a little bit of rugby too. Got hurt earlier on and said, I'm going to stick to golf. Just 366 yards today. It's really a must-hit fairway. Dog leg right.
Okay. Sharp. Good shot. Confident one.
Fairway will just sort of take that a little further down and to the right. Well positioned. Sure, some of these players haven't played conditions this firm or fiery, and that's the trouble they're having adjusting to the ball releasing. But the second shot has to be hit to a position.
Great golf course, one of the best in the world, and I mean, it has tested these elite amateur players from all across the Asia Pacific region. 2 are tied at the top of the leaderboard at 3 under par at Royal Melbourne. We've talked about these golf academies playing a vital role in the grassroots efforts in growing the game, and recently organizations from Thailand and Australia have been at the forefront, teaching young men and women about the impact this game can make on a person's life. With more, here's Amanda Renner.
The Asia Pacific Amateur Championship could not happen without support from partners in this region. This year, the PGA of Australia and Golf Australia has brought its extensive expertise and local knowledge to the Sandbelt, including world-renowned Royal Melbourne.
Well, it's definitely a big thrill for us to be here right on our doorstep, really. The Australian Golf Centre, and our home is right across the road from Royal Melbourne, and it's a great honour for us to be playing a part in the championship this week. We're really proud of the performances of our players on the world stage in recent times. To some extent, we'd love to say that it's partly about our climate and the great golf courses we have. But I think the way our golf clubs support juniors, and then as they come through the ranks, the high performance systems, the coaching, the PGA professionals that back up and provide that support. It's the whole package, really. For many in the world, coming out to Australia it's a long way to come. But here in Victoria alone, within an hour's drive of Melbourne and the Sandbelt, there's quality golf courses all around. You could spend a month here and you'd never get bored. It's absolutely brilliant golf. I know it's a very special event for young amateurs who are cutting their teeth. And I think Harrison's, the opportunities he had to play at Augusta last year and to play in the Open. Doors that have opened for him as a consequence. He's since turned professional. I know there's a lot of others who have gone through the same steps that he has. It's something to really aspire to, and the field that takes on Royal Melbourne this week, I know they will have those aspirations of seeing the wonderful fairways of Augusta and Royal Troon when they get their opportunity next year.
And kudos here at Royal Melbourne to club captain Tony Rule. Really enjoyed spending some time with Tony. He's a historian of the game. The director of golf, Ben Jarvis, the general manager, Damon Lonnie. Director, of course, is Richard Forsyth for presenting such a magnificent golf course. And then the chairman, Golf Australia, Peter Margin.
Now it's 16, the par 3. Zhang from just off the edge, somehow trying to get this in to remain at 2 under. So short par 3s also difficult today in these firm, fast conditions. Got to say, most of this field, Rich, 37 different countries, and that generally grow up and play soft, more target type golf courses. So big adjustment this week.
The discussion about the past champions. Hideki Matsuyama springboarding off of his success here to Masters glory. And Frank, you've been calling the Asia Pacific Amateur going all the way back to Guan Tianlong in 2012.
Yeah, to Marta Springs, the talent, the depth just gets better and better. And as we heard in the piece, you've got so many different development areas now where they're trying to add their own Institute of Sports. They paid it off there with Harrison Crowe, champion last year. And they accept the fact that most of these players will go on to professional golf. As we look at Kazumi Kibori, he said, does not win this week, I will be a professional next week. His second now at 15.
This one, green light all the way. 134. Oh, he slid out in front of it and has lost it right. Well, you're right, Frank. He is just all out of sorts. Looks totally uncomfortable with the golf swing.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was actually looking forward to watching him play because yesterday was bogey free. Really, the hallmark of his game is fairways, greens, and very tidy around the putting surface.
That's the beauty of this game, though, Frank. I mean, one day you have it, but you got to do it 3 more.
Sugira
had to avoid that tree in front of him, just looking to get this somewhere around the front left side of the green.
Bo Jin.
Really aggressive tee shot inside 100 yards. These guys look like they're trying to sprint around this golf course right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad just off the front edge. Been on the clock now for nearly 5 holes, so hasn't helped. Bogeys have come freely with this 3 group. High expectations for the 3. A lot of people expected the winner to come out of it.
'17. Here's Jimmy Zhang.
Yeah, this hole playing straight down breeze today. You've got to make a decision. There's some cross bunkers here to get past, or try to get it to the big front end of the green. And Zhang's tried to just lay it up to the fat part of the fairway.
And straight down at it.
This hole was very reachable yesterday. And this is the corner of the golf course, 15. Lovely undulating green. Kibori once again in trouble.
And it looks like a really straightforward shot. But there is a slope right of this hole that'll feed it away.
I think it'll be Segura to play first.
Oh, and there's that slope. That's got to be careful.
right on a razor's edge here at Royal Melbourne, even with what would appear to be straightforward shots.
Now Kabori.
Good lie in the bunker, going back into the wind. Oh, came out a little hot, needs to spin. All right, not too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But Frank, they're expecting the wind to pick up tomorrow and come out of a 180-degree opposite direction. It's going to be a northerly tomorrow.
Yeah, and that sort of comes through the middle of the country, so we expect the temperatures to go up a little bit.
These scores are heading northerly right now.
I'm thinking about Jeff Ogilvy, the 2006 U.S. Open champ. He has a house right off the golf course here at Royal Melbourne. He's in the design business. He's a huge admirer of Royal Melbourne. He has said it's got the ground game, incredible conditioning, it's firm, the sand, unique greens right up to the bunker edge, sharp razor edge bunkers, great vegetation, 12-month climate. It's all you could ask for, not just here, but all across what they call the sand belt. Here's Jin.
Just trying to stop the bleeding. Oh, and he's going to have another one, little tester.
And Colt, you played another one of the great golf courses nearby, Kingston Heath, this morning. What'd you think?
Gorgeous. Had so much fun. Sadly, the course record is still intact.
Alistair McKenzie, who built the West Course here, or designed it, did the bunkering scheme at Kingston Heath, consulted on a number of golf courses here in Australia.
I don't know if they have any bad ones in this region.
It's a Metropolitan, Peninsula, Kingswood, Victoria's right across the street, Commonwealth, Huntingdale, Yarra Yarra.
It rivals any other golfing destination, really. And it also, Cole was watch another par attempting for security. You learn the value of a par here. It doesn't matter if the hole is 330 yards or 470 yards.
Didn't Peter Thompson tell you that?
Exactly, the value of a par. It is certainly not instant gratification. Just seeing shots being frittered away on a regular basis over the last hour or so.
Climate here, the soil really good for growing golf grass for this kind of turf.
Yeah, you have three different types of grass here. You have couch grass on the fairways, which is like Bermuda. And then if you look at the aprons or the surrounds, that's actually fescue. And they have a unique mix on the greens of bent grass called Sutton's Mix.
Par putt now for Bo Jin. Well, he could use one. Okay, way to hang in. So
putter is not his friend today, though, Rich.
Yeah, he had played the previous 3 holes in 4 over par. At 4 over, still with some of this round left, and then 2 more to go. He's not out of it, not as difficult as this is playing, and we expected to play on the weekend. Kabori, touchy putt, and he has it. He stays right there, 2 under, 3 over for his round. At this point, it's just about hanging in there. At 18, and this is a Jordan Indra Marcelo from Indonesia.
You see too that cut is just eking out to plus 12. And this for par to remain 1 shot inside that cut line.
Get there and get in. Huge. He knew it. You love the fight. Not every victory results in a trophy being lifted, right? What's so good about this game? 2-way tie atop the leaderboard here at Royal Melbourne.
120 players from 37 different countries and regions. But we just saw what it meant to one of them. Marcelo, big leaderboard behind 18. It's been a tough 36 holes, but it should be good enough to play on the weekend. That's a story to be told. It's one of the many great stories this week. I know we focus so much on the top of the leaderboard. You'll find Jimmy Zhang very close, just 2 back. And just stays nearly on the top of that hill. It's still outside chance for a birdie to get within 1 here at the par 5 17th. Just knows what an extra bounce will do. (14) Yamashita. Fairly slow putt. So can he make the adjustments? Had a few downhillers, so this one he can hit positively. A little timid. So often you just get a little out of position here at Royal Melbourne. Feels like you have a different shot on each and every hole. Players sadly in grind mode today. Second round.
Kabori at the 16th.
Playing just 170, but a nasty hole location on the front part of this green. That's a 9-iron on the way, and this is headed left.
At least he's missed it on the left, Colt. There's a little bit of green there, so there's good chance. You've got 2 teeing positions. They used the right tee yesterday, same today, but flag, totally different place. Even though the hole is short, 170 yards, you see you have very little to green to work with. You could almost cut this green up into 4 different portions. So front bunker, very much into play today, that front left bunker. Yesterday, it was the back central bunker that got a lot of work. See what Bo Jin can do.
Just a beautiful design. It's just so narrow up here at the front of the green. This one starts off on a good line, but the wind's smoking it, moving it left.
Royal Melbourne in all its gory glory. 17. Jimmy Zhang. This for birdie to get to 2 under.
Yeah, it was a little unlucky with his third shot here, not bouncing up enough because these greens have certainly firmed up. This is probably his easiest putt of the day. A little bit right to left, pretty flat. Trying to get into the house.
Oh, just singes
It's a
the
game
edge.
of inches.
Frustrating. But still in all, in good position.
It's a good putt, Reg, too. You know, couldn't hit it too hard. Right about there, it looked good enough.
Yeah. Segura at 16.
He has not hit a green in regulation since the 11th.
Good shot. Chance here to make just the 5th birdie so far today at 16. And he has yet to make a birdie all championship.
Been a tough day for this featured group, which included our leader and the guy who was runner-up a year ago. This is Bo Jin. All kinds of difficulties at the 12th.
Yeah, we talk about the nature of the greens, but it's been fairways missed for some of this. Too many greenside bunker shots hit. It's Kabori there at 15. Managed to get that one up and down. And he was looking up for a little bit of help. Right now, not getting it. This was the missed fairway at the dogleg right. Generous fairways, but they've been a struggle to find today.
Seeing more of this golf course than he would have liked. The native vegetation, the sand, and more of it here at the 16th hole. 3 over, 4 over, 3 over today. Kabori, though, still only 1 shot back. Sugiura is scuffling just to make the cut. He was the highest ranked player in the field coming in, 16th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings.
And this is impossible here, guys. Ball way below his feet.
He wasn't even going at the flag. Actually didn't have a shot from there.
Frank, this front left greenside bunker looks like the place to miss it because there is more green left of the hole, but it's a straight downslope. So unless you get a perfect lie on the upslope, I don't know if you can get it within 10 feet.
Slightly better lie for Kabori, but this will test his mettle.
This is one you got to open it wide up and put a lot of speed behind it.
Oh, tried for a 2.
That's fantastic. Took a lash at it.
Barely got out too. Bunker still went past.
It's a reminder today, Frank, that a golf course does not need to be long in order to be challenging.
No, as soon as you throw the water on the greens, Rich, doesn't matter if you make the par 4s 470, 500 yards. If they know the ball's going to stop, instantly that green, that target, it feels bigger. You can fly it to any portion of the green. I mean, you having to have a plan B today.
18, Jimmy Zhang.
Yeah, this wind is howling left to right now. You can look back up this fairway. It is some 68 yards wide, out of bounds left and right. The flags are humming to the right-hand side here.
Well, that makes that tee shot even better then. Nailed it down the left side.
Well, Frank, it's the only way to get at this pin up the left-hand side.
Back to 16.
And Bo Jin.
Coming down the hill, moving to his left. Would happily take 2 putts. So fast. And another one of those putts, Frank. It's amazing how it continues to happen after you miss a few.
You just cannot find the pace today with these greens.
You mentioned it, Cole. Bo Jin back at the 9th hole. Didn't have pace on that one to hold the line. And at 13. This was for par, Frank.
Oh, it's one of the easiest holes on the golf course. 3-putted from inside 10 feet. Had another birdie putt at 14. And of course, this was the return putt. So back-to-back 3 putts for the man that finished 2nd last year. He's Phil Snakebit in this championship.
That was some dramatic finish last year. Unfortunately, hit it in the water at 17 back in Thailand at Bo Jin. Now Sugiura.
He was just lagging it down the hill.
Kabori, this for par.
It's amazing. I was just talking to his caddy over on the side, and he goes, he hit it about the same yesterday. Just making nothing and just leaving it in terrible spots.
9-iron in hand on the tee. This par 3. He's going to go to 18 with a 4.
When we talk about the conditions being more difficult yesterday, which they were, but this golf course is twice as firm as it was.
16, big green, but a small target today on hole cut front right.
Well, we've said this more times than we could have imagined. For bogey. He knew it right away. Making a mess of this backside. It's a 2nd double bogey.
You feel for him. You know how much this championship means to him. He's been close so many times. He was playing so solid early in the round today.
6 over the last 5 holes. Sugira.
Just battling to play in the weekend.
Right. Royal Melbourne has stood the test of time. It's a golf course that Tiger Woods absolutely loved. They played here in 2019 in the President's Cup. He said yesterday, those who saw, and I know you did, Frank, tell you that was a clinic in controlling your golf ball.
Yeah, that's why I've always said it. You know, it's a great second shot golf course. You have 13 par 4s here, only 2 par 5s. So often it's about flight control and picking the appropriate target. The hole is the destination at Royal Melbourne. It's not always the target.
And Lucas Michel is a guy who knows a fair bit about golf course design. Lucas Michel. You may have seen that feature we did earlier. He's at work with his caddy, who's renowned as a golf course architect, writer, critic, blogger, Michael Clayton. He rolled a caddy this week, working on a great project in Tasmania called 7 Mile Beach.
We look back up to the tee there at 17. Alexander Yang from Hong Kong, the only player to make eagle hair today.
And they are happy to be on a downwind par 5. Since I picked this group up on the 8th hole, at least one player has made bogey on every hole so far.
Colt the Cooler.
Hey. I was just saying how hard Royal Melbourne was. I don't know why you had to throw me under the bus. That's a good one there. And Frank, going back to what you're saying about it being a second shot golf course, I talked to Xander Schauffele, who played in the President's Cup here in 2019. He said it's the most terrifying second shot golf course he's ever played. Even with short irons in, he knows if you're just a yard or 2 off here or there, you can be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you can't just use your rangefinders. You've got to know where the ridges are on the green, where the hole's cut. Comparison of that. Now, Kabori.
This one headed up the left side, moving a little farther left towards that snow gum.
He will not be able to reach from there. There are layup bunkers here some 90 yards short of this par 5, so he'll have to navigate those as well. Boat.
Oh, this one's smoked right up the left center.
179 miles an hour of ball speed. That's elite.
We've discussed it last week in Abu Dhabi. Kabori won the individual title at the Eisenhower. So too through the years, Jack Nicklaus, Hal Sutton, John Rahm, and Sir Michael Bonallack. Kabori and Sir Michael linked again with what Kabori did yesterday, round 1, matching the amateur course record over the composite layout here at Royal Melbourne, 66, a score that had been unmatched, as you will see, for 55 years. Sir Michael, the 1968 Eisenhower Trophy, decorated career amateur, 5 times the amateur champion, 9 times played the Walker Cup, winning captain 1971 at the Old Course, widely respected administrator, secretary of the Royal and Ancient, later the captain, member of the World Golf Hall of Fame and Augusta National Golf Club as well. Also won the Bob Jones Award 1972. What a moment there. Tiger in 2000 completing the career Grand Slam. Sir Michael Bonallack passed away last month at the age of 88, being laid to rest today in St. Andrews. The hearse on its way to the church yesterday, making its way across Granny Clark's Wynd, the road that crosses the 1st and 18th fairways at the Old Course. Chance for the townspeople to pay their respect. Martin's slumbers of the R&A, with more on Michael Bonallack.
When you look at his history, he's arguably one of the greatest amateurs of the modern time. 5-time amateur champion, multiple Walker Cups, winning captain, secretary of the R&A. I mean, he gave a lifetime to golf, and the game is the better for him. And we will miss him greatly, not just in St Andrews, but I think the whole game will miss him. And you know, a testament to the quality of the player is he's still the amateur course record holder here on the composite course, and no one's beaten him. And so you know, it is a sad day, but Michael would absolutely want all of us to focus on the young players out there. That's what he believed in. He loved amateur golf. He thought it was the most important thing, and let's hope we have a great champion that does him proud this week.
Sir Michael Bonallack, the quintessential gentleman golfer. He played and served the game in a manner deserving of our respect, admiration, and gratitude.
Now it's 16, Yama start. And one of the pesky bunkers surrounding this par 3. Beautifully played. Well, we're looking for 2 more spots, really, to join the list of invitees for next year's Masters Championship. As you can see, South Africa, Christo Lamprat has already found his spot by winning the Amateur Championship. Nick Dunlop, no one doubts his pedigree and how long he will remain an amateur. He will certainly enjoy going down Magnolia Lane. And the runner-up also at the US Amateur, Nick Shipley, will find his way there. Hagstad, the mid-amateur, always preserves a spot there for the Masters. So we will crown a champion this week, and we will add to that list. And then at the start of next season, 2024, the Latin America Amateur Championship will be played.
Second shot, par 5, 17th, Kazuma Kobori.
Aggressive club from 295. This is 3-wood and it's headed left. This could be trouble.
Gold, he didn't need to hit that down there.
I agree, Frank. I didn't think he'd get it all the way there. Really surprised he went for it.
Some tactical mistakes. Now, second shot at 18.
Yeah, Jimmy Zhang.
Oh, Frankie has hit the biggest drive up here. Some locals here saying this is the longest drive all day. Only 144 to this pin. Ridge running straight through the middle of it. Wind coming in from the left.
Yeah, that's a solid shot.
That is a really good shot right there, getting it under the hole.
Swung the club nicely today. Now back to 17.
Yeah, battling to make the cut.
That from 264 headed right at the heart of the green.
Just props up in the fescue, just short of the screen.
And we thought Sugiura would be battling to win this title. This is a surprise of the week so far that he has not had his best stuff. Now Sam Jones.
Yeah, surprising too. He's struggling. +7. Another one that made the trip from the Eisenhower last week at Abu Dhabi.
Bo Jin at 17.
I got to compliment him on his attitude, Rich. Walking down the fairway, he goes, man, I smoked that one. I just hope I don't 3-putt again. This is a good looking shot.
Story of his day, isn't it? So close to being sort of perhaps an outside chance for eagle, and now he's got a tricky up and down. good strike too. He generates a lot of clubhead speed. We saw there 179 mile an hour of ball speed off the tee. So he's one of the few there that could go with a drive and iron today. This hole 573 yards. Really the sign of the future, Rich, isn't it? You know, 6 foot plus, long arms, a lot of width in the swing. Now 18.
All right, Jimmy Zhang. This is a birdie try. That was a good run right there. Bogey at 14, bogey at 16. Try to get him with a par here.
He's well placed, Rich. I mean, there's only 2 players ahead of him.
Back to 17.
He's the 3rd shot now for Kabori.
And Frank, with that mistake with the layup, he has 70 yards. The lie is fine, but you still got to catch this perfectly to get it anywhere around it.
Yeah, it's too far to play an explosion shot.
I think it's when you take the lob wedge and put it a little back in your stance. Just make sure you catch ball first, because you do have a lot of green to work with, and just try to chase it back there.
Problem is, there's a gully in the middle of the screen. You almost have to accept the fact that you just take it to finish there. Almost take a miracle to get it on the top deck without going long.
That came out heavy. Oh, it's going to catch that slope.
So it's going to be a difficult putt up a rather steep slope.
Playing alongside Jimmy Zhang, this is Kenneth Sutianto from Indonesia. 15 years old, making his debut at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Come on, go ahead, do that. Way to go, Kenneth Sutianto. He's had a good 2023, young player who's trying to make his way. Struggled in the opening round, but 4 wins, including the Singapore Junior Championship.
One more lick to savor this. I mean, that's just what a way to finish. Did you just say he's 15?
15 years young.
Playing in this championship. Great moment to finish on.
And back at 17.
No surprise, really. It looks like just putt it there from long range. I know this flag is a long way back, Colt, but you want to keep it on the ground.
Yeah, this from about 85 feet. Tough to judge the speed. Has to go up a decent-sized ridge about 15 feet short of the hole, and it's going to move left the entire journey. Needs to go a little.
18th hole. This is Hyun-Uk Kim. He opened with 3 under 68. This for par. Try to break a string of 4 straight bogeys. Okay, hang around. So that's 77 today, but not out of it. Long at 17. This is Bojin.
A little surprised to see him going with putter, but once it gets on the green, it is going to run away from him. I think the biggest mistake he can make here is hitting it too hard and running it down the slope behind the hole. That's really good.
Even then, just that last couple of feet, it rolled sideways. Nothing's been easy for Bo Jim.
He's a character, Frank. He asked me if I'd ever played this course. I said no. He goes, I want you to so you can feel our pain.
Your kind of guy, Colt.
I love it.
Go one-liner for one-liner with Colt.
Just watch the last couple of feet of this. I mean, it looks pretty good there, like it's going to be cozy on up, and then it just keeps heading right. Just makes the birdie putt that much more difficult.
A lot of that. You see the hand gesture settle down. Now Jimmy Zhang to finish up. Pride of New Zealand. Okay, Jimmy Zhang goes to the weekend with a real good chance. Frank in the New Zealand Golf Hall of Fame. You think about Bob Charles, Michael Campbell, Lydia Ko, major champs from New Zealand. Craig Perks, one of players. Now at 17, here's another New Zealander. Okay,
that's excellent putt there.
Beautiful.
Can debate the second shot, but at least he guarantees his 5, so no damage done here at 17.
Other New Zealanders of note to have won on the PGA Tour, as you did, Frank. Danny Lee, Phil Tatarangi, Grant Wade, who's now a teacher. Stephen Alker has had a sensational run on the PGA Tour Champions.
Well, I was talking to Jay Carter, who's actually in charge of some of the younger players for New Zealand, the 7-man contingent here. They say they've got a good crop too, and they're trying to use, they're trying to develop the players so they can go through that adjustment period, that next phase, when they contemplate turning amateur, and then sort of the next couple of years, whether it's go to the European Challenge Tour or the Corn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour. Just that transition.
Sugiura.
To stop the no birdie streak at 34. And a much needed one.
They have some program in Japan under the tutelage, and that's a sort of a microcosm of his 2 days. And the tutelage of an Australian coach, Gareth Jones. They've delivered several world #1s in recent years and Asia Pacific Amateur champions, Takumi Kanaya, Keita Nakajima. Hard luck couple of days, and I mean, staggering that the highest ranked player in the field doesn't have a birdie.
Yeah, just adjusting to the putting surface. You can see there was nothing wrong with the stroke or the putt, just touched too much speed. Another one that struggled with the putter, Bo Jin.
And from this length too, so he didn't get one to drop.
You got to be kidding me.
You think
is that like 5 of that length?
At least.
And even that one.
He actually hit one
on the right side, but you know, just seemed to strike that second shot perfectly, Frank. Nothing to show for it.
Well, hit a perfect tee shot. The iron shot was hit straight at the flag, just rolled over the back. The third shot wasn't too bad, and all you get is a 5.
I mean, Frank, you nailed it. That third shot was really good. Bo Jin hitting that last little trickle and got another foot away from the hole.
So all 5s for this group. Says, I can't make a birdie.
Round 2 summary here at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. These two long since finished. Wen Yi Ding and C.T. Lin, Teddy Lin. 67. That's by 2 shots the best score of the day. On the other hand, this featured group featuring Kazuma Kabori, who opened in 566, combined their 13 over par, and 13 players from the host country begin, and Billy Dowling at 1 under par is the low Aussie at this point. Kabori at 18.
That one is striped down the right side.
You see the 155 mile an hour ball speed, so he's nearly 24 mile an hour ball speed less than Bo Jin.
Here's Bo.
And as a man who didn't hit it very far himself, that's tough to overcome, giving up that much length to these guys. took off on a really nice line and a mile in the air.
See the difference there, 311 yards carry, and that works on anywhere in golf, whether it's the professional tour or the amateur ranks. Slight dogleg left. There's a crop of tea trees just down the left there. They've got to be avoided.
Teeing off back into the setting sun is never fun either. Easy to come up and out of it. That's another good one.
Royal Melbourne, famous in part for its greens, lightning quick today. But Bo Jin not quite seeing eye to eye with the flat stick. You and I were going to have a little discussion. I'm not sure I like you. I'm sure you're coming back for round 3. We'll see.
Well, I hope Bo Jin brought a spare this week. Putter has betrayed him. Does not lack for power, that's for sure. Just thumped one down 18. He's good to see him still smiling there. They've had the rules official basically follow them all the back 9, so there's a little bit of empathy there. Tried to speed up, and of course they've all played worse consequently. Wasted a lot of shots. Flag there at 18 looks central, but it's just on top of a little ridge. That little area to the left on the screen, it's known as Dunk's Island. Billy Dunk actually got it up and down from there to win a PGA Championship, ousted David Graham. Breeze still coming from the left, so it goes the opposite direction of the dog leg. 270 runs out down that right side, but for the Bo Jins of the world, they can easily get it past all that tea tree up around that 320 mark. That shortens it up. See, very narrow in the front of the screen. Bunkers galore. The little island, that's Dunk's Island on the right side there. The grassy area. So many great championships have finished here. Names like Gary Player, Ernie Els. Robert Allenby won it. Australian Open as an amateur here. Bo Jin. He's toiled for a few years. All he ever wanted to do, win this championship.
You are looking at what is recognized as one of the greatest golf courses in the world. Royal Melbourne, designed by Dr. Alistair McKenzie before he did even Augusta National Golf Club. Two-way tie atop the leaderboard, day 2 of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Wen Yi Ding, who is a USGA champ, won the Junior Am last year. And young man C.T. Lin from Chinese Taipei, who plays at the University of Washington. Home hole now for our featured group. This is Kazuma Kobori, who tied the amateur course record here yesterday with 66, has struggled today, but he is still very much in it.
He is a long ways back here at 18, has 195. About 45 yards behind the other two in the grouping. I'd have to think he'd be very happy with anything in the center of the green here.
Plus, being that far back, Colt, he has to allow for this ball to release. It's going to take at least 2 bounces before it stops. Makes that shot a little more difficult.
Strikes a pose there.
He likes it.
Why wouldn't you?
No,
Settle down.
Unlucky.
You called it, Frank. Got to play for that release.
These young amateurs are getting a stern lesson in what it takes to play a golf course like Royal Melbourne when it is this bouncy.
You really have to focus on that landing spot. Even for Bo Jin here, Colt, I mean, you imagine have a spot 8-10 yards short of the flag.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, even with just a wedge or 9-iron in with these guys, what they have, they can spin it a lot more, but it's still going to take a massive first bounce.
And the Segura very close to the cut line.
Last I looked, he was T60 right on it, so he needs par. This out left of the hole trying to fade towards it.
Just missed his mark by about 5 yards.
That's going to be a stressful 2-putt.
Now Bo Jin.
Just 145 left. Should be a really comfortable pitching wedge. Nothing's been comfortable today, though. This one needs to go as well.
Finishing hole on what has been a brutally hard day for Bo Jin and a number of others. Just 6 players at this point in red figures here in the second round at Royal Melbourne, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
Now back to 17, the par 5. Sam Jones has plenty of power, managed to get up here in 2. Right on line. So he'll have to settle for a birdie here at 17. Played the hole properly. Now back to 16, the par 3 that's just caused the guys fits today. So players struggling for par. Zhang, not like any one of them. You can see how that meant to him. Just pops that in. He's going to make his way to 17 and perhaps have a crack at the par 5. Now, Yamashita also had enough power to get up here. Can he make eagle and get back to even par? Good effort. Just 7 scores today that have broken par. There was only 6 yesterday in what you would think was considerably colder and more difficult conditions. Just warmer weather, firmer greens, slightly quicker. That's been the problem. Players all know where they stand. They just look at that leaderboard. They'll know exactly where the cut line is. And Segura came in. Highest ranked player in the field. Of course, he does not want to miss the cut this week. Now back at 17, Yamashita. Yeah, just piles it in. So he gets it to 1 over, and that's only 4 back.
Live at the 18th hole, and this is Kazuma Kobori long with his second shot.
Electing to chip it to take some of the breakout. That shows you the young nerves, but look at this thing roll out. That's really good.
I think this is an important up and down for him, Frank.
Yeah, just to remain under par. You know, he's only 2 back. Of course, the range isn't that far away. I mean, there's enough daylight. It's 6:25 local time, so try and sort things out tonight. Go with a fresh approach tomorrow.
Forget the practice. This has been too exhausting. They need a hug and an ice bath. Yeah, I'm exhausted watching it.
Yeah, it sounds like you need the hot bath and the hug, Colt. Now, Bo Jin, that second shot was rather dismal from so close.
This is a tough one coming up that slope. If it gets going too far to the left, it can shoot straight left. And guess what, guys? He's going to have another little tester. That's when you're saying to yourself, Frank, I just want to go home.
Yeah, nothing's been easy, isn't it? I mean, that's poorly read.
It's just the beauty of this golf course, though. It's under 7,000 yards today. And it's giving these guys everything they want.
Seguri from Japan.
He's right on the cut line. 60 players and 12 over.
Boy, that one bounced early on him, Frank. He's going to have right around 3.5, 4 feet to play the weekend.
Yeah, there's 59 players, 11 over and better. So that is not going to still even touch and go if he makes that.
It has been a disappointing 2 days for Japan in general. Powerhouse countries, no doubt. This was the highest ranked amateur in the world coming in this field, 16th. And right now, the best player from Japan is Ryura Matsui, and he's at 4 over.
And he's made the same amount of birdies as us three.
Surely must go down. One must go down for Bo Jin.
And check, let me correct myself. Yamashita is the low Japanese player at the moment. 1 over. Now, Bo Jin.
This is not one you want to have when you're struggling. It's got to be outside the hole and just get it going.
He has it. Nice work right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. With a sigh. Okay.
I think he just build off that putt and head into tomorrow.
Yeah, he gets it. There'll be days like that. So Bo Jin from China, 3 players have combined to win 4 for China. Guantian Long, Bo Jin's brother Chen Jin, and then Yu Shinlin won it twice. 4 players, or rather 3 players from Japan have combined to win it 4. Hideki twice, Takumi Kanaya and Keita Nakajima. 3 from Australia, Murdaka, Curtis Luck, and Harrison Crow a year ago. And then Chang Woon Lee and Chang Won Han from Korea. Chang Won Han won the inaugural 2009.
Surprisingly, just one Chinese player under par so far through 36 holes.
But he is tied for the lead, and that's a guy that we had our eyes on, Wen Yi Ding, who's slated to play college golf at Arizona State. There's a senior at Oklahoma State, Bo Jin.
I think he's trying to do the maths there. Let's see. If I go out tomorrow and shoot 66,
hey,
you know, it might get me
don't
back
know.
to. He's got the talent.
All right, it's putt for par here.
Must go in.
No, he pulled that hard.
Well, that is the biggest surprise through the first 36 holes. He came in as the man to beat.
Yeah, at least in terms of world ranking, the sort of consensus was just based on the way he had been playing coming in. Kazuma Kobori was favored. There he is, finishing up his round. That's good up and down, and he'll put this one away pretty quickly and know that he'll have a chance going to the weekend. Just a couple of shots back. think for Kabori, Frank, it's about recapturing some energy. He's expended a lot in the last couple of weeks, winning the Eisenhower in Abu Dhabi, where the temperatures were 115 degrees, and he had not been feeling well on the weekend. He wins, he flies all the way here, 9-10 hours, plays a great opening round, and then fades a little bit today, so it's just about recharging.
Yeah, it's a dose of reality too, but some of his wins this year, I was talking to Colt before the show, to win the Western Amateur, that is one of the hardest amateur championships to win, so he's had a lot of traveling this year too, but as he said, it was win or go, win or go pro.
So Bo Jin, these are all experiences, Frank, as you well know, having played amateur golf. You won the New Zealand Amateur. How to manage a golf course like this.
Not my best, but it was fun, I guess.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Maybe.
Great disposition, isn't it?
He really does have a wonderful way about him, and that's a good example to set, I think, as well. Not just how you play, but how you conduct yourself. So important. So 6 players now. That's it in red figures. Tough day here at Royal Melbourne.
Talked about the great Chinese contingent. Now Zhang at 17 plus 3, he's still in the thick of it. And fast forward to Sunday, finish here. 16's been difficult all week. The tricky little par 3, a chance here always at 17. Someone's going to have to walk up 18, but at the moment it's the 18-year-old Wen Yi Ding. 2 rounds that have broken par at Royal Melbourne, and the 21-year-old from Chinese Taipei, Teddy Lin. Now at 18, surprisingly, Lucas Michel drove it out of bounds, so this is 4th shot. He will play the weekend, no doubt, but that's expensive. His chances of winning. Now, not that far away from the water here. That's Port Phillip Bay. It's actually the shape of like a horse's head. And right in the background there is Arthur's Seat. It was named after one of the seamen that came here from Edinburgh, because there's actually an Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh. So that's where it stole the name from. Beautiful countryside. Now, second shot for Sam Jones. 18. Trying to bounce it up the hill. Good shot by Jones.
Back to the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. 2-way tie atop the leaderboard. You see Jimmy Zhang along with Kazuma Kabori, New Zealanders at 1 under par, and right in the thick of it going to the weekend. Jimmy now with Amanda Renner.
Jimmy Zhang, 2 under par. There are no perfect rounds, especially on a challenging Royal Melbourne course. How pleased are you with your performance today?
I'm pretty happy with how I played today. There's definitely a couple bogeys on that scorecard, which I'd much rather not have, but overall, it was a grind out there, and I'm sure it's a grind for everyone else. So I'm pretty happy with how I did.
All day we've been talking about how this is a second shot golf course. Your second on 12 was a beauty. Can you talk us through what you did there and what you saw?
Which one's 12 again?
Par 4.
Par 4.
Yes.
Dogleg, right? Oh, okay. So I mean, I hit a 3-wood trying to lay out on that hole, and then I was in an awkward distance. I was trying to hit a soft 50 degree and trying to get it with a lot of spin. Thankfully, it worked out. I mean, I thought I hit it about 30 feet by, because you can't see it up there because it's elevated. Sure. But I was very happy to see it show up about 4 or 5 feet.
One of just 11 birdies there today. Now, you said since we saw you last in 2021, you're a much more mature player. How does that maturity show up for you on a golf course like this?
I think that maturity, as well as college golf, has taught me, I mean, when you're playing Royal Melbourne, you can't just go at every single pin. You need to find out where your landing zones are, even if it's 5 feet right and 20 feet short. And so that definitely is kicked in for me playing this course. Even with chipping, I mean, I left myself in a tough spot on 16, and I guess young me would have tried to hit a big flop shot at it, but smart me decided to just play it out left and try my best to make the par from just over the green.
You're a true golfer. Can't remember the great shots, but can remember the ones that you'd like to have back. Thank you for the time. Good luck this weekend.
I think by the end of the week, Frank, he'll fully understand where the 12th hole is and what it's all about.
I think he was just exhausted. It was a tough day. You see our leaders, Ding and Len, currently 3 under. That's a 2-shot lead over third place. There's still 7 rounds posted under par, but there's another 2 just finishing up that are also under par. So we have a chance to have 9 sub-par rounds today.
I do think Jimmy Zhang has an understanding of what it takes to play this golf course. We watched Michel putt for bogey here, having driven it out of bounds at the 18th. Wow. I was struck by what he said. You need to find the right landing zone here at Royal Melbourne, even if it's 5 feet right and 20 feet short. That's from Jimmy Zhang. That's what you've been talking about all day. Yeah,
it's hard sometimes when you see a flag that looks in the middle of the green. You would naturally take the direct route, but if you know where there's a ridge or a hump, it's a little bit like Augusta National. The hole that's very famous to everybody at home, it's 16 when they stick the flag on the left. The aiming point is actually right. You use the ridge to bring the ball around towards the flag. You've got to do the same thing here at Royal Melbourne on countless occasions.
This is an eagle putt here. Samson Zhang from China.
For a name like Samson, make eagle here, that'd bring the house down.
Okay, Samson familiar to college golf fans in the United States. Plays at Cal Berkeley. Actually won the U.S. Amateur 4-ball with his Cal Berkeley teammate Aaron Du. Yamashita from Japan. He's in the mix. This for birdie. Oh, wow. That's tough.
Just looking at the course today, Rich, there's been 9 birdies at 18, but you can see it's there's been so many shots frittered away at this closing out. Good round of 70 though. Hence the smile.
And he is
anything
the
under par today.
Right, low player from Japan. And now Samson Zhang from China. 3 over 74, round number 1. Okay, excellent. He's highly ranked, 48th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. Great international experience. Played the Arnold Palmer Cup, the Bonallack Trophy. We talked about Sir Michael Bonallack. Second team All-America at Cal. Sam Jones.
What's online?
How good a putter was Bob Charles?
As good as they came, really. I remember talking to the late, great Tom Weiskopf about the best putters that he saw in his career. I mentioned Crenshaw as well as Bob Charles. And without trying to be derogatory, Weiskopf said they had to putt well to compete. He still regarded Jack Nicklaus as the best of his era.
76 for Sam Jones. While we have a moment, let's go back down to Amanda.
Yeah, here at Kazuma Kobori. Listen, it wasn't the day you were hoping for, but good news, you're only 2 shots off the lead heading into the weekend. So all things considering, what are you thinking heading into the final 36 holes of this championship?
Firstly, I'm very thankful to be 2 off the lead after shooting that. But what can you do? Like, we can't go back there and restart the round, so all there is to do is figure out what's going on and then put my best foot forward for tomorrow.
You said that you and your caddy all day were just trying to figure out the wins. Can you explain for viewers at home who maybe don't understand why these wins are so challenging? Why are they so hard to figure out?
Well, firstly, usually on a golf course, the ball generally stops where it lands. That's not the case this week. So, where the ball lands, the ball might end up 20 meters away from that. So when you get it wrong, the amount of damage that you put on yourself for getting it wrong becomes way more severe. So that's the reason. That's the reason it's difficult, but everyone deals with it, and some guys dealt with it better than I did today.
I mean, the good news is, we were just talking about it, this is probably the day to not have your best stuff out there. What can you learn from today that will help you continue to climb up this leaderboard on the weekend?
Yeah, probably play faster, because I got put on the clock today, and that was a bit unfortunate. But you know, like I shot 5 under yesterday. I shot 4 over today. You know, with the 5 under I shot yesterday, my game's not that far off. So you know, I just need to believe in myself. That's all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the time. Go get him this weekend.
Thank you,
Rich.
All right, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, Bojin.
It was a very honest assessment from Kabori, though. I mean, he talked about the landing spots, getting those wrong, and plus, actually, it's nice to hear someone talk freely about being put on the clock and the difference that made.
Well, he crystallized just why it's so difficult, saying generally in golf a ball stops where it lands, not on this course. Of course, he saw Bojin. I don't know. He's waiting on his good buddy Sampson. Here he is.
He just drove it down that right side, so it's a little bit more awkward. It's going to have to take it across the corner of the bunker. But far enough down, you see it's just a short iron in hand. Bit of speed through the hitting area, nice and crisp.
Frank, little sort of not a forward lean there.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Yeah.
Trying to finish birdie. He's actually had a good back nine. He's currently 2 under through the back nine.
Okay.
Sato.
Kaito Sato from Japan.
Just started about 15 feet left of the flag. Pitch it a little short. Oh, just flew it that touch too far, and see what happens.
This is his Asia Pacific Amateur debut. Just turned 18 on Wednesday. Another promising player coming from Japan. Won both the individual and team titles, the Toyota Junior World Cup in Japan earlier this year. And now Wong Nai Shen from Hong Kong.
There's a huge tee shot. Presume misjudgment. Comes up short.
Won the Faldo Series Hong Kong Championship earlier this year. Cernick has done his part without question with his Faldo Junior Series around the world, growing the game. Sampson, Zhang coming to the home hole, trying to hang around here at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Coming up on 6:45 early Friday evening here in Melbourne, Australia. And this is the 18th hole.
The hardest part for Sato there is you're going to putt through the fescue, so that's going to be considerably slower than the putting green. It's going to go up a little rise, and then you really do have to judge those last 8 or 10 feet coming down the hill.
Mentioned his success as a junior in Japan. This is his first international event, so this is all part of progressing at high-level elite amateur golf, is traveling. So one thing I know that's impressed you about your countryman Kazuma Kobori is that his game has traveled.
Yeah, he's played everywhere, you know, around the world, and played successfully to win in America. Obviously, low amateur last week at Abu Dhabi when New Zealand finished 5th there. Credible performance. He's the Australian amateur champion. Type of go. And as Colt Knost, who was following the group, was saying, you know, he's giving up 25, 30 yards to some of these players. So, and he was out of form today. There's no two ways about that. That's not making an excuse. That's the reality of it. But he's aware of his situation. And as I said, I thought his interview with Amanda, he was very honest in his assessment. And I think that bodes well for tomorrow. But he still has to hit the reset button. Now Shen from the lower deck here at 18, so slowish putt.
Frank, no doubt you remember late 70s, early 80s when you first set out from New Zealand. What you encounter, the challenges as you learn to play and travel?
Yeah, just having to adapt so quickly. Even just looking at this golf course when I first played it, the difference from an uphill to a downhill putt. Uphill putts, you felt like you had to hit a lot harder than what it actually visually looked. And then when you got on the other side of the hole, you're almost fearful that the ball was going to run away. So you'd play a course like this, and then you'd go to a parkland golf course, whereas Kobori was referencing, you've got to fly the ball every inch, and the ball doesn't move when it stops. So that extra dimension that some courses have, this being one of it.
And now birdie putt for Yunhei Samson Zhang from China. Gave it a run. Said recently he likes to think of himself as a work in progress. Knows that he's capable of more. Just has to keep working at it. I think Cal Berkeley, you think of Colin Morikawa, just a one in Japan.
Yes, broke his drought. I think the thing to look for, Rich, as we sort of fast forward tomorrow, is holding speed on these greens. You're going to leave some putts short, but someone really that has a good sense of the pace because of the adjustment, uphill, downhill, side hill. And perhaps go on that putting green, whether it's tonight or first thing in the morning, and just experiment side hill, downhill, uphill putts, just trying to get a better feel.
Par putt for Sato. At 8, look, here's Azan from Oman. You see his, this is Azan Al-Rumi, and there's his son who kind of stole, his fingers crossed.
He had his toes crossed, everything crossed.
The youngster sort of stole the show in that beautiful interview that the father and son did with Amanda.
Yeah, they changed the rotation of the composite golf course slightly differently so we could have a 2-tee start. Players starting on 1 and 9. So the 8th hole heads back to the clubhouse with this as we go back to 18.
Wong Nai Shen. Oh, wow. We saw a lot of that today. Making his debut in the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship, 20 years old. And 2 more rounds. valuable experience on the weekend.
Bo's still checking his phone, maybe checking the scores. Yeah, these are the sort of putts too. You know, if you've got an hour tonight, just go there and spend a little bit of time inside 4 feet, just getting used to that good holding speed. Make that hole feel a little bit bigger for tomorrow.
Oh no. That's a terrible way to finish. You hit a really good second shot. And pretty good first putt. Just missed the bunny. And as it stands, that's a round of even par 71. 3 over par for Samson Zhang. The stew over that one at dinner tonight. Sato, 8 over par. He too with a couple of more rounds to play here at Royal Melbourne. Yeah, there you go. Love to see it. Good sportsmanship. There is Zhang Al-Rumi with his 8-year-old son. Oh yeah. He's having the time of his life. I'm gonna check that scorecard for Pop. Oh, you know we're gonna see the youngster at the Asia Pacific Amateur competing probably in about 6 years or so. Beautiful. The Asia Pacific Amateur Championship is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Delta, keep climbing. 3M Science, applied to life. UPS, be unstoppable. And Rolex. I mean, it was a slog today, certainly for the featured group, but earlier there was a fair bit of quality shot making. We'll start with C.T. Lin Frank, University of Washington and Chinese Taipei.
Just to prove that you could hit it close out there today.
But again, it's all about landing spots. And that one landed
and then
the perfect spot.
10th hole, Zach Swanwick from New Zealand there showed you could even eagle par 5s as well. You get 2 good shots in the middle of the green, have a 25-footer. Every now and then they'll pop in. He made a good move today. Yeah. He's in contention.
Shot 71. He's at 1 over for the championship. Now Suzuki at the 13th.
Greenside bunkers were a problem for some today, but not Suzuki. And Rich, this is one of my favorite shots of the day. I know he's not playing in the weekend, but what a way to finish.
Kenneth Sutianto. Come on, baby. Yeah, hello there. And this is a nice way to finish. Indonesia. Into the weekend. Jordan Indra Marcelo. Loving it. Yeah.
Nice to see someone finish with a smile too. Royal Melbourne won today, that's for sure.
It did. Just 6 players in red figures. Kazuma Kobori backing up today with 75 after 66. Lucas Michel, one of the Australians, 13 in all in this field. He's into the weekend, knows a little bit about this golf course, and he is with Amanda.
Joining us now is Lucas Michel. We learned a lot about you on the broadcast today, especially your affinity for golf course design. So we figured this is the perfect time to have you explain to us the genius behind Royal Melbourne that has also caused a lot of pain today.
Yeah, it was a challenging day for me. But yeah, it's an amazing golf course. It's probably as strategic of a design as you can imagine. You have to think so much about where you're placing the ball. Landing areas are so important. It's not about, where it carries and stops. It's running after that. So you really got to think about what the slopes are going to do with the ball. And it just really makes you think.
If you could pick one feature that is your favorite, is it the greens? Is it the bunkering? What is it about this golf course that you're like, man, I wish maybe I had thought of that first?
Yeah, I mean, the bunkers are kind of the eye candy, the shape of the bunkers, and everyone knows how they cut into the greens, and that really makes them strategic in a way as well, because you can get those short-sighted misses where you're so close to the green, and you can almost have no shot to a pin. So I would say definitely the bunkers are the eye candy, but the contouring and the slopes and just how firm and fast it plays. The firmness of it, every little contour is exaggerated. It's like, little mounds that feel like they're like a foot high, or they are a foot high, feel like they're 3 or 4 feet high just because of how the ball reacts when they hit them.
We don't expect it to get any easier heading into the weekend. So what are you anticipating tomorrow? We believe the winds will be coming from the north and probably continue to firm up.
Yeah, well, we had that north wind day on Tuesday, which was really challenging, and it's a completely sort of opposite wind to what we had sort of the last 2 days. So, the holes would play really differently, and the north winds generally, it's coming from the desert sort of inland, so it'll be warmer, drier. The green should firm up even faster, and yeah, it'll be really tricky.
It's gonna be fun for us to watch. Thank you for all the insight.
Yeah, thanks.
Rich.
He's going to do some great things in the world of design. He's already done some nice things in golf. So too some of his countrymen. Frank, you were on the call when Antonio Murdaka won right here in 2014.
Yeah, it was a surprise considering he was the last man in from Australia at the start of the week. He was their 12th man, but he's by far played the best golf. Curtis Luck was the reigning U.S. amateur champion in 2016. So when he won at Incheon, that was certainly a great performance. And Harrison Crowe, that was a great finish. We referenced the fact that Bo Jin had that lead for 71 holes there. But Harrison Crowe, he finished the deal. That's 3 champions.
It's all good. All good. 晚上吃啥？你想吃啥吃啥吧。没事，你推肯定没我差。你推怎么可能比我差？我那个最后。
They'll have a bit to laugh about, commiserate over at dinner tonight.
Hey, Payne, it doesn't matter how old or young you are in this game.
What's your sense, Frank, as we head to the weekend?
I'm actually a little more confused today because I really did think we might have got some separation. If anything, more players are back in play. So I think that bodes well for tomorrow. But to sort of take Lucas Michel's word, the eye candy out there, I think right now the leaderboard is salivating because there is still, I believe, a 66 or a 65 out there, even with that north wind, whether that come on a Saturday or a Sunday. So expect more volatility over the next 2 days.
Those greens, we got a taste of it today as it continues to get drier, firmer. What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to take attitude. It's going to take a strong mind because you will see short putts missed. There's no two ways about it. But it's going to reward. I'm going to keep going back to second shots. If you can position the ball, and because of the north wind, there will be different lines that need to be taken off the tee. So a smart head's going to prevail, but iron shots, give yourself the opportunities. It doesn't mean you're going to guarantee a birdie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to set you up for a good score.
I know Kazuma Kobori struggled today, but I thought the par he made at 18 was crucial, and it keeps him well within striking distance.
Yeah, I actually go back to the 12th hole when he was leaking oil there. He made about a 5 or a 6 foot putt for par, birdied the next hole. I think that was the stabilizing part of his round, but still 36 holes to go, and it is anybody's. It's all up for grabs.
Halfway home at one of the world's great amateur championships for Sellers Shy and Mike Crowe, leading all of the hardworking men and women in the truck and on the ground. My partner Frank Nobilo, Colt Nose, Paul Gowan, Amanda Renner. I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from Royal Melbourne and the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.